Wolves Nation, welcome to tonight's game against the Brantford Bulldogs. We would now ask that you all please stand if you are able and remove your hats for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem, sung by the St. Charles Elementary School Choir.
Good evening. Welcome inside the Sudbury Community Arena. Friday night hockey, it is simply the best, especially in the Nickel City. Brian Cooper alongside Rick Wyman, and hockey is especially great too when with the wind chill, it feels like minus 41 outside. That's what it's going to be later on this evening, but things are going to get heated up real quick in tonight as it's a battle between the Dogs, the Brantford Bulldogs, #1 ranked team in the Eastern Conference of the Ontario Hockey League, against the hometown team, the Sudbury Wolves, looking for their third straight win. Rick Wyman, what are your thoughts?
Well, Brampton coming off that loss last night at North Bay, Brian, will be a tad angry this evening because you know how teams feel if they lose the opening game of a road trip. And I can imagine it was a close one last night where North Bay pulled it out. And of course, they got a pretty good effort from several players. We'll see how Brantford reacts tonight. I expect them to come out jumping because they'll want to get a quick start against Sudbury. Sudbury, traditionally, if they fall behind early, might have a tendency to struggle. But as we've seen the last couple of games, the Wolves have managed to get a quick start on their own, scoring goals within the first couple of minutes. So let's see how this plays out. But I expect a pretty entertaining contest. Barodas is going to have to be really solid tonight. Not just solid, but really solid tonight between the pipes because, as you well know, Brantford brings a lot of firepower to the game.
Ryerson Leenders, the starting goaltender for the Brantford Bulldogs. Wolves looking for their third straight win. Bulldogs coming off 2 straight overtime losses, but they do have points in 7 straight. We have officially dropped the puck. Game is on. Wolves firing the puck into the Brantford zone. The full distance, icing not called. The goaltender Leenders puts it around the net, and Brantford will skate it out in a hurry to the center ice area. Blake Clayton out there with Henderson and Ethan Dean. First shift for this club. Wolves into the Brantford zone. Shot comes from Dean. He actually looked like he stepped on the puck, and it will be fired back out of the Brantford zone. Here come the Bulldogs. O'Brien sent flying inside the Wolves zone by Rowan Henderson. Henderson has a little stare down with him. And then Ula, the defenseman for Sudbury, 1-on-4 inside the Brantford zone. He gets muscled off of the puck. Wolves jumping in on the forecheck. A steal for Nemec, pass out in front. Couldn't get the shot on net, otherwise it would have been a real tricky pad save for the goaltender Leenders. Brantford getting it out of their zone. They poke it just barely into Wolves territory. Gonchar sporting a full face mask for tonight's game. Gonchar, the leading scorer on this Sudbury Wolves club right now. Forward pass into the Brantford zone. Shot comes, glove save. Rebound is there! And the rebound is picked up by Leenders as well, as now we get some pushing and shoving right off the hop. Nothing more comes of that, but Wolves are going to have to match the intensity.
Well, the Wolves have been playing some physical hockey of late. You've noticed that as well. So I think there's a bigger difference now in the last time that we saw the Wolves and, of course, Brantford last season. That game in this very building, Nick Lardis had a 4-goal game for Brantford in a one-sided contest.
Face off inside the Brantford zone, won by Sudbury. One-timer from the blue line. Gonchar, that one went wide into the corner. Picked up by Coughlin. Around the Brantford net, it'll go. Good pressure from Sudbury. They're on the puck, back to the blue line. Yules could not hold the zone. He's forced to put the reverse lights on, as the Wolves will chip it right back into the Brantford zone. Steered to the side by Linders. Brantford defenseman will move forward through the neutral zone. Paquette firing it deep into Sudbury's territory. Malhotra taken down behind the Sudbury net. He looks at the referee. No call on the play. Play resumes. Almost 2 minutes gone in the first period between Brantford and Sudbury. Giveaway from Brantford. Wolves inside. Provorov a shot. All alone in front was Gonchar, and the puck fluttered off the blade of his stick. Brantford back the other way, led by Malhotra. Pass out in front. All alone, a shot. Nice pad save for Bjorn Bronis. Looked like it was going to be 1-0. Forehand, backhand. The pad said no, as the Wolves jump back into the Brantford zone. Gonchar with a shot. It goes off the shin pad that time of Vladimir Drevetsky. Brantford trying to steer the play. The intensity is exactly what we predicted, as Brantford plays pass back and forth. Couple defensemen. And now they'll fire a pass into the Sudbury zone. Icing is waved off. Bronis comes out to play it off the glass. Inside Wolves territory it is right now, as Brantford has not spent a whole lot of time inside Sudbury zone yet. Shot from the blue line deflected by Hudson Martin. Barely kept in at the blue line by Brantford. Bulldogs shot coming. That one goes wide. Nick Rosetto puts it back to his defenseman at the center ice area. Brantford is. Brantford, Wolves trying to get a line change, and Brantford's going to try to capitalize on that. Big hit thrown by Ula, and the Wolves will come back the other direction. A 2-on-2 rush. Blake Clayton leading the charge. His second shift of the first period already. This line's right back out there. Head coach Scott Barney liking the fire. That's coming from Henderson, Dean, and Clayton so far in this one this evening. Hankai leading the charge back the other way inside Wolves territory for Brantford, and he's rubbed out of real estate. Ula, forward pass to Henderson. It's an 88-77 pass. Henderson inside Brantford zone. Drop pass for Dean into the corner. A bit of a blind pass. Henderson didn't see it coming. Puck will end up in the corner boards. Former Wolf Owen Protz skating it out of the Brantford zone and lobbing eventually into Wolves territory. Ula, still fairly new in this Wolves roster, gets a hit received that time, and Brantford pass out in front. Bjorn Bronis not needing to make a save. Protz at the blue line, waits, hands it off to his defenseman line mate. Nice move inside the blue line. Wolves are trying to keep Brantford on the outside. Around the Sudbury net it goes. Shot comes. Ula takes his man down, but Brantford will keep it in, led by Protz. Protz at the blue line. Pass forward to Dylan Shanurka. And Henderson, 1-on-2, needs a line change, so he is going to go right off to the Wolves bench. Pace just keeps on picking up in this first period. Brantford wants a line change now as well. Protz will slow it down behind the Brantford net. Nearly has his pocket picked, courtesy of J.C. Lemieux. Brantford will slowly make their way out, deflecting it through the neutral zone, over the glass, and out of play. 4.5 minutes gone already in this first period, Rick Wyman.
Well, the last couple of games have started rather slowly against Flint and, of course, Rouen this past Sunday, but this game right from the get-go. And again, Wolves have a great chance at one end of the ice. Linders, caught out of position. Could have been 1-0 there. Brantford comes right back down the ice, and Bronis has to make a big save to keep it scoreless.
Face off just outside of the Sudbury zone. It's won by Brantford. Ben Danford. Leafs fans would be very familiar with that name. Danford all the way back inside the Brantford zone. Off the glass into the Wolves territory, and Hovan gets absolutely leveled in front of the Wolves bench. And then a glove save made by Bronis, as Hovan looking at the referee. Late hit thrown, and let me tell you, he received the thunder on that one.
No penalty there, Coop. I mean, after all, Hovan went after that puck that was in the air, and why players insist on doing that, they want to play it, bat it down, or see what they can do. But he got nailed after trying to make a play on that puck, and no penalty. Good hit.
Face off inside the Wolves end, won by Brantford. At the blue line, Sandu keeping it to the outside. O'Brien. Sandu's wrister comes from the blue line. It's deflected wide. Wolves will skate it out. Leading the charge on the outside. Shot comes, and a save made by the goaltender, Leenders. And now Hovan, who's clearly fired up still after receiving that hit, gives a little hack onto the defenseman of the Brantford Bulldogs, and nothing more will come of that. But face-off will happen inside the Brantford zone. Ryerson Leanders, Buffalo Sabres prospect. In fact, there are not just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NHL prospects on this club. There are 11 on Brantford. Inside the Brantford zone, draw won by the Bulldogs. Around the Brantford net it'll go. Paquette off the outside. Good pressure from Hovan. Hovan for Sudbury. Little backhand pass looking for Lemieux. This line has also looked real good for Sudbury lately. Wolves trying to keep it inside the Brantford zone. Not for long. Leading the rush, Malhotra. Shot comes. Good block for Luca Blonda. Wolves will skate it back the other direction. Great pace in this first period. 14:25 left in the opening frame as Brantford will deflect it back into the Sudbury zone. Blonda back in a hurry, and he's shadowed. Look out, receives a heavy hit in the process. Coughlin back there too. Wolves can't clear. Angle at the blue line. Shot comes, looking for a deflection. Ends up in the corner. Blue line shot again coming right into the pads of Bronis. And now we got some extra pushing and shoving. Coughlin mixed up with someone, as is Hudson Martin. And now we got a couple headlocks and a couple face-washing situations going, and we got a couple other players. Blonda mixing it up as well with Dennis Cooper. And you kind of get the feeling that we're going to see a lot of this here tonight, Mr. Wyman.
We could be here for several hours. Big night last night for Jake O'Brien for Brantford. Keep an eye on him. A couple of goals and an assist in that losing cause. So again, North Bay stoning Brantford at home. We'll see how Brantford responds here this evening. So already just a couple of shots on goal and we're still scoreless.
Face-off won again by Brantford. They're inside the Wolves' end at the blue line. Angle across the center. Shot comes deflected off the pad of Barahowski for Sudbury. And now the Wolves will skate it out, led by Coughlin. Coughlin on the outside. Wrister comes. Easy glove save made by Leanders. And the Wolves will force a face-off inside the Brantford zone. But with that, there will be our first TV timeout of this Friday night broadcast.
Not an easy weekend for the Wolves, Coop. After all, they've got to make that trip to Rouen coming up on Sunday. Game time 4 o'clock. David Bowen will have the call on that contest after the Wolves beat the Huskies this past Sunday on home ice. And I expect that one to be a long, drawn-out affair, especially after the tempers surfaced at the end of the game on Sunday.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Oh, you missed a dandy. Not a great game by any standard. It picked up later on. And the thing is, we saw some good hockey in the third period, but as soon as the buzzer went at the end of the third period, the tempers got the better of some players, and we saw some mixing up, and I'm sure some numbers were taken to be used accordingly this coming Sunday.
David Bowen will have that call. He was saying it's interesting because the game is in Quebec, but they need an English feed, of course, for the broadcast. So, face-off inside the Brantford zone. Draw won by the Bulldogs. They've been pretty good in the face-off dot so far in this first period, but a steal for Sudbury inside the Brantford zone. Hovan going to be taken hard into the corner boards, passing it off to Nemitz. Nemitz pass out in front, and it's stolen by Frasca. Frasca of Brantford. Frasca will chip the puck in. He's going to get hit hard by Ula. Ula hits the boards pretty hard as well as they continue to exchange some shots. Ula and Frasca battling it out behind the Sudbury net. Hovan back there defensively. Backhand pass to Nemitz. Nemitz along the boards, and he's going to get run into hard in front of the Wolves bench. Another big collision inside the Wolves end. Hovan back to help out. Wolves doing a good job. And they'll skate it to the center ice area. Picked off, though, by Brantford. Owen Protz, Montreal Canadiens prospect, lobbing it back into the Wolves' end. Brantford's going to go do a wholesale line change. And then the Wolves will move it out, led by Hudson Martin, the defenseman. Wrister coming. Easy glove save for Leanders. He'll steer it off to the corner, and a steal for Henderson. Out in front. Blonda. Wrister comes high, and it's wide. Close call for Sudbury. Best opportunity for them so far of this first period. Dean for Sudbury, chipping it right back into the Brantford zone. Great action between the two dogs, as they say, as Brantford will slow it down with 12:20 to go in the first period. No score. shots 4 for Sudbury, 3 for Brantford. Bulldogs lobbing it into the Sudbury zone. Hankai is going to be rubbed off by Blonda. Blake Clayton joining the party as well, deep inside. Puck right in behind the Sudbury net. Blonda finding it first up to Henderson, who overskated the puck, and so now Brantford's going to try and make them pay. But then a good steal back for Dean, who then gives it away to the Brantford Bulldogs, and they're going to skate it right back into the Sudbury zone. Not for long, a steal for the Wolves again. Blake Clayton and Henderson. Clayton actually overskated the puck, and so the Bulldogs with a chance to move it, and they do to the center ice area. Braden Bennett getting sandwiched between a couple different Brantford skaters. Ewells for Sudbury, over to Gonchar, who will lob it to the side of the Brantford net. Bennett, the rookie forward for the Wolves, gets it to the blue line, deflected by Ewells. And then Bennett going to throw a big hit in along the boards. Some thunderous hits in this opening frame so far. And look out, Brantford into the Sudbury zone. Bronis is out of his net, and he gets hit hard, but kind of saw that coming as he was about 10 feet out of his net.
He didn't get the worst of it. Really, that collision prompted that Brampton player trying to get a number here as he went in very hard, but I think he was hurt more than Bronis was at that time. I mean, after all, Bronis has got the gear.
He's got the gear.
Who's the player? I'm just trying to get a number over here if he turns around.
Well, Bjorn Bronis, 6'2", 190. He held his ground pretty well there.
Oh, the jersey's crumpled up anyway.
I think it's Lachenko.
17, is it?
It's Lachenko.
Okay.
He's going to take the face-off for Brantford.
He was slow getting up.
Well, he hit Bronis and then kind of went into the corner boards right after that. Lachenko is going to be asked to step out of the face-off dot. Brantford wins it. In fact, they win it so well, it comes all the way back into the Brantford zone. Leenders comes way out to play it. As the Bulldogs, Vanacker will chip it inside the Wolves' end. Ewells on it first. He gives it away. Bulldogs on the outside. And the Wolves are content just to flip it barely into the Brantford zone, not taking icing. Play will continue. And back out for another shift. Clayton and Dean. Clayton off to the bench right now. Brantford into the Sudbury zone. And then look out, Gavin Ewell's going to take a penalty after a cross-check behind the Sudbury net. Extra attackers out for Brantford. Brantford inside the Sudbury zone. At the blue line. Angle, trying to get a shot with a screen in front. And again, a Brantford power play is looming. Brantford at the blue line, opportunity. They'll wait, they'll shoot high and way wide. Brantford still has full control of the puck until right now when Dean touches it. So here comes the number 1 ranked power play unit in the league.
Okay, there are three different types of penalties. A good penalty, a necessary penalty, and a stupid penalty. That was a stupid penalty because you can't be cross-checking a Brantford player 10, 15 feet away with the referee looking at the play. He's not going to say, okay, guys, I'm going to forget that, but you can't be doing that. It was a cross-check. It was committed.
And up high.
And now Brantford on the power play, so Ewell's not good. Got to think about these things.
Face off, won by Brantford. They're set up right away on the power play. Again, ranked number 1 in the league. 33% on the power play this season. Shot did come, and it was wide. Now an on-man rush. Wolves the other way. Henderson shorthanded. Henderson will shoot. Blocker save for Leenders. Close call. And taken down on the play was Clayton. Went flying into the Brantford net, and another penalty is coming. And I believe it is going to be against the Brantford skater this time, and so that power play is done.
And negated, and Leenders played that well. Did you notice, Coop? He didn't budge. He didn't move before the shot. Sometimes they'll drop that right leg, even both legs, and give the shooter that high position, but he didn't budge whatsoever, held his ground until the shot, and made the save accordingly. So that's a veteran save from a veteran goaltender, so that's why it's still scoreless.
Lachenko in the box for the Bulldogs, so 4-on-4 hockey. If you thought the pace wasn't quick enough yet, now we've got 4-on-4. A little bit more space to work with out there. Face-off will be inside the Brantford zone. No score, by the way, 0-0. 9:47 to go in the opening frame.
Funny how I know so much about goaltending. It wasn't a very good one. But I've learned a lot by watching the OHL.
I was going to say, if you were a backup goaltender, you get to watch a lot, right?
Oh, I did my fair share of that, too.
Brantford has control of the puck. In behind their net, saucer pass and a beauty. Here come the Bulldogs. Dennis for the Bulldogs. A little backhand pass to Malhotra. And then the Wolves are going to skate it out the other direction, led by Gonchar. Gonchar into the Brantford zone. Nice forward pass, looking for Nimitz. Bulldogs back the other way. 2-on-2 rush developing. Now it's a 2-on-1. Inside Malhotra's shot comes, and a pad save made for Bjorn Brones. Close call as Malhotra maybe thought a little bit too much on that one.
He thought he had that, but Brones held his ground and managed to get that leg out just in the nick of time.
Looked like it was going to be a sure 1-0 game right there. Wolves have possession of the puck again.
So we're seeing some good goaltending early, and that's a good sign.
Back inside Wolves territory is Ula. He's been a great acquisition since the deadline. Wolves fans have been loving the grit that he plays and that he takes to the blue line for Sudbury. Brantford having control of the puck on their own end. Now they'll move it forward out of their zone. And it was led by Ben Danford, the Leafs prospect. Deep inside Wolves territory, picked up by Ula. Ula gets pushed off the puck, and then Blonde is there to help him out. 10 seconds left to 4-on-4. Then the Wolves will have a very miniature power play. Hovan looking up at the Jumbotron, sees that. Smart play for Hovan of Sudbury as Ewells is now out of the box. And then the Wolves will look to capitalize on a miniature power play. Coughlin shot comes deflected just wide, and they score! Rebound was there, and it is going to be a power play goal.
So that puck took a crazy hop from the back of the net coop. It looked like the shot initially taken was wide of the net. Then that big bounce came out right in front. Here's the shot right here, and just passed right off from the side, and it went off Leenders. Right there, so it bounced off the end boards, loose puck, shot went off Leenders, and it's a 1-0 game. Rather gratuitous.
Wicked bounce. A power play goal. I had just used the word, it's a miniature power play. And you know what? Credit to the Wolves coaching staff on that play as well. And the Wolves who were on the ice, they knew that Ewells was about to step back on the ice. They did a couple circles in their own end, waited, jumped into the Brantford zone, got a shot off that missed. That weird bounce off the backboard. Looks like they're going to look at something now. And then puck goes off of the pad of the goaltender Leenders and in the back of the net. Looks like we're good to go. 1-0 Sudbury. Hovan's 12th of the season, a power play goal. The Wolves have drawn first blood here this evening. Face off at center ice. Won by the Bulldogs. They're going to skate the puck into the Sudbury zone, steered and controlled by the goaltender Brones. Up to Barahowski. Barahowski into the Brantford zone. He's going to get hit real hard in along the boards. And then Brantford will find the loose puck. Ula comes in on the play as well. He's going to have to hustle to get back to his defensive posts. But back to help him out was Barahowski. Odell around the Sudbury net looking for Barahowski. Losing his stick was Vanacker of Brantford. He's hustling his way back to the Brantford bench. Gets a new twig, but Brantford still has control of the puck. Bulldogs cycling it around inside the Sudbury zone. O'Brien, who Rick was talking about, nice pass out in front, and they score. Tic-tac-toe in the back of the net. And it's a tie game just like that.
Good cycling in that right face-off circle enabled Brantford to set up, to orchestrate that perfect shot and the opportunity. Take a look at the puck movement. You can't see it because you're looking at us, but nice movement from the right face-off circle, pass to the left face-off circle, and the shot. Brones, no chance whatsoever. It's a 1-1 game, but a nice setup by a highly skilled line.
Vanacker, 32 goals on the season for him, and that was just, when you see the highlights tomorrow, It was just a perfect tic-tac-toe, no chance for the Wolves goaltender.
And he's coming off a goal performance last night in North Bay, so the guy knows how to put the puck in the net.
Absolutely. 1-1. Great pace in this one. Shots are basically tied up. 7 minutes to go in the first period. Jan Hovan, and then just minutes after, puck is inside the Brantford zone now. Whistle is blown. The Bluebirds are going to make themselves known in the Sudbury crowd tonight as the fans are not in agreement that that whistle should have blown.
Well, the referee, obviously, if he thought that the play was going to be, if the puck was going to be contained or what have you, or lost sight, he can do that. And in some cases, in minor hockey, Coop, we do it for safety's sake. And in other cases, it's if you don't know where the puck is, and the thing is, you don't want someone chopping away at a goaltender either.
Well, play continues. Wolves win the draw. They've got possession of the puck back on their own end. Ewell's forward pass nearly coughs it up. Ewell's taking his man to the corner boards. Brantford controlled at the blue line, waiting. Henry Doucette taking a shift now for Sudbury. Skating it out. Looking for J.C. Lemieux, who puts himself offside.
Oh, by a mile on that one. He tried to hold off. You know how the players just like to stretch that back leg out, and they're going one steamboat, two steamboat.
Almost.
Not happening. Good start to the game, and of course, anytime you get the top team in the conference, you know you're going to have a fairly entertaining, wide-open affair, and the Wolves are up to that this evening. It's a 1-1 game.
Face-off just outside of the Brantford zone, won by the Bulldogs. It'll be Ben Danford for Brantford, firing the puck into the Sudbury zone.
Yeah, Brampton and Brantford got confused a lot.
I almost said it, actually. Now that I've pointed it out, I'm probably going to say it multiple times. And now we got some pushing and shoving in front of the Sudbury net after a bit of a late hit from Artem Gonchar. Coming into the game, by the way, ranked number 9 among defensemen in the Ontario Hockey League. And he's the leading scorer for the Sudbury Wolves club right now.
Oh, he's picked up his play. There's a lot of there's a lot of adjustment that the European players need when they come to camp and get used to things. And a very knowledgeable scout told me you start evaluating after Christmas because it takes them 2 or 3 months. There's language, there's food, the food, the communication, just the various issues. Like if you don't speak English, how do you connect with your teammates on the ice? And some of the Russians have that problem when they first come here.
Well, play continues as near steal, and Henderson's going to turn the Jets on. Opportunity, almost a breakaway for Henderson. He gets the puck inside the Brantford zone, though. Henderson, opportunity for Clayton, stick lifted last second. And then the Bulldogs will skate it out of their own end with a burst of speed, Malhotra. Malhotra, who I feel like we'll talk about a lot, getting a weak shot off, pad save. Rebound was there, steered aside by Bronis. And then Hudson Martin for Sudbury, lobbing it to the center ice area. Wolves on the forecheck, led by Dean. Dean will leave it for Henderson. Puts himself offside. And that'll be another TV timeout, so a breakage in the action. You know, you look at this Brantford club, it is wild. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 11 NHL prospects on this club. It kind of gives you a little glimpse as to what this team is made of and why they're number 1 in the Eastern Conference. They have 5 players who are in the top 20 scoring of the Ontario Hockey League. In fact, there's 12 players on this Brantford club who have at least 20 points on the season. A few of them have over 50 already. It's a little glimpse into how much of a red-hot team this club has been.
Well, I said at the beginning of the year, if this team is not in the OHL final, they'll be knocked off. It'll be a huge upset by someone, or they just didn't bring everything that they have right now with the roster to the table, because this team, to me, is a can't-miss hockey club to win the Eastern Conference. And I said that earlier, and I still stand by that right now, because you take a look at this lineup, Coop, where are the deficiencies?
It's true. Well, play continues with 5.5 to go in the first period. Puck deflects into the Brantford bench, out of play, so another face-off will be the result.
And Coop, someone once told me, a wise man, many, many years ago when I started first broadcasting Sudbury Wolves hockey, you'll know the depth and the strength of the team by the number of players drafted to NHL teams. So you can take that one to the bank and use that one day too.
There you go. Wolves, of course, Hovan and LA Kings prospect, and Gonchar, the Rangers prospect. Face off just outside of the Brantford zone, won by the Bulldogs. They'll fire the puck deep inside the Sudbury zone. Lachenko hit hard by J.C. Lemieux, who's been just a ton of fun to watch play since joining this Wolves roster as well, by the way. Brantford has control at the blue line. Angle will wait, takes a shot, and it's blocked by Lemieux. Lemieux around the boards. Nemitz nearly got hammered in along the boards and has his stick lifted last second. Brantford relentless in the forecheck. Another shot back to the blue line. Angle dropping. Rister comes, deflected by Nemitz, and he's going to lead the charge out of the Sudbury zone over to Hovan. Hovan to Lemieux. Lemieux, stick lifted, gets it to Hovan. Hovan right back into the Sudbury zone. Hovan's going to get off for a change, as will Lemieux and Nemitz. So change in forwards here for the Wolves. Provorov dipsy doodling into the Brantford zone. However, maybe one move too many as he put his line mates offside.
Well, the Wolves face an interesting aspect in their schedule. They're going to be playing a lot of tough teams. They head south shortly. And of course, they'll be playing London on the road, and believe it's Flint as well. I'll have to take a deeper dive, but they've got some tough games. They had a relatively easy January, or easier January, and they managed to rebound. So February is going to prove interesting for this team in terms of character and grit and road travel.
Play continues. Brantford skating the puck into the Sudbury zone. However, that was before the red line, so it's an icing call. Face-off coming right back into the Brantford zone.
2 weeks to go until Olympic time.
Almost years. Kind of came out of nowhere, didn't it?
Starting to build now. I mean, once we get through January, wait till February 1st comes up next week, and the thing is, we'll start really getting into that whole Olympic vibe. I can hardly wait for not just hockey. I like all the Olympic sports during the winter.
Absolutely. Play continues here at the Sudbury Arena. Wolves are on it. Shot coming. Glove save for Ryerson Leenders, who just tosses it to the face-off dot and says, come on, let's get this first period rolling a little bit more here.
And I had a great chat with Randy Pascal on one of my podcasts. I actually have two of them. And this is on lovethenorth.ca. He told me his history of being an off-ice official at the Olympics and some really good inside stuff. So
he's got some cool stories, that's for sure.
Yeah, and he actually had a very brief chat with Sidney Crosby in Vancouver in 2010. So he's been to 4, and he's looking forward to Milano coming up.
Play continues at the Sudbury Arena. 4 and a bit to go in the first period. Tied up at 1s if you're just joining the broadcast. Wolves chasing the puck into the Brantford zone. Led by Coughlin, who will throw a check into the corner boards. Brantford, though, trying to clear. Shot from Sudbury to maintain possession. Barahowski waiting. Along the boards, back to the blue line. Coughlin, one-time shot coming. Glove save made again by Leenders. Good traffic in front of the net, as Barahowski was standing right there.
So at this point of the season, as we head into 2 months to go, surprised, excited, disappointed, wondering about the standings so far, with the Wolves trying to battle for that 8th or even 7th place position?
I'll let you know my full answer here when we have a little bit more of a stop time, but I think a lot of people after the trade deadline, maybe their expectations dropped a little bit. So where they've been able to come so far in the last, basically since the deadline, some quick chemistry formed as we have a whistle on the play, puck into the bench of the Sudbury Wolves area. I think there's a lot of surprises, and I really have seen some quick chemistry being built. And, the Wolves are sitting, towards the bottom end of the Eastern Conference, technically in a playoff spot right now. I would say a lot of people are pleasantly surprised with how they've come in the last couple of weeks. And like I said, just really good, quick chemistry. And goaltending's been relatively steady too, despite some injuries. Play continues inside the Wolves end. Brantford is on it, taking the puck to the side. Brantford at the blue line. Sandu can't shoot, he hands it off. Rister from the blue, it's deflected into the corner. Paquette back to the blue line. Another shot, that one's blocked by Henderson. Another shot for Brantford, that one's blocked as well. Nemitz has his stick lifted, can't clear the zone. Puck back around the Sudbury net. Brantford buzzing right now. Good pressure just inside the blue. Another shot. There's another block for Hovan. Sandu the defenseman for Brantford, putting it just around the Sudbury net. Bulldogs moving it around nicely. Sandu will wait. He hands off. Shot from the blue, deflected. A delayed penalty, by the way, coming against the Wolves. It's going to be a holding the stick penalty. Looks like Hovan off to the box for Sudbury, as he's not happy with the call. I'm not sure when you would be happy with it, but we're going to see this number 1 ranked power play go back to work again.
The Wolves kind of remind me of the team that we saw at the beginning of last season in October, November, December. Then after some trades and additional talent was added, and the thing is, the team wasn't the same. It's like they're playing together, working harder to compensate. And the thing is, they've got some new talent that can actually play and get into some physical hockey, and I think they're better off for it.
Well, play continues. Blonda was just taken down real hard inside the Sudbury zone, but he's going to stay out there battling with Lichenko. Brantford on a power play. They move the puck quickly and well. Another shot from the blue line, deflected wide. Bronis not needing to make a save. Brantford around the Sudbury net, back to the blue line. Controlled nicely by the power play. Along the outside, back to the blue line, picked up by O'Brien. On the outside, O'Brien will get the puck right back to the blue line. Back to O'Brien on the outside. He wanted to shoot, but can't. O'Brien now cycling back to the blue. Juracek will wait to the side of the net. Shot, nice blocker save for Bronis. That was a beaut. Juracek just inside the blue line. Looking back for O'Brien on the outside. O'Brien to the side of the Sudbury net. Couple passes flying this way and that, and it's taken away by Henderson. Henderson a chance to clear, and he doesn't. Brantford will continue to move it around. Pass out in front, Juracek to O'Brien. Back to Juracek at the blue line. Juracek on the outside, Lichenko waits to the side of the Sudbury net. Malhotra misplays the puck. 40 seconds left in the power play. Wolves cannot clear yet. 40 seconds left. A minute and a half to go in the first period. Tied up at 1s. Brantford doing a good job on their man advantage. Here's O'Brien twisting and turning just inside the blue, handing it off to Juracek. Juracek looking for a man open. Drops for O'Brien. O'Brien to the side of the Sudbury net. A pass through the slot, and it's off the skate back into the Brantford zone, and a gassed penalty kill unit for Sudbury gets the change finally.
Wolves doing a good job of closing that inside gap and not allowing a clear scoring opportunity.
Brantford right back into the Sudbury zone. Power play just about done. Hovan is ready to step back on the ice, but Brantford has the puck right now. Opportunity around the Sudbury net. Bulldogs are on it. Hovan back to help out defensively, and he's out there with some fresh legs. 40 seconds to go in the first period. Wolves to the side of the Brantford net. 30 seconds left on the clock in this first period. Nemitz around the Brantford net, waiting, twisting and turning, loses his man. Trying to get a pass over to Hovan. Nemitz to the slot, back to the blue line. Ula will wait. Can't shoot, so he just carries the puck into the corner. Hovan back there as well. Ula is out of position, so look out with 15 seconds left. Brantford back with a rush to their own. Wolves cannot clear. Puck deflected. Look out over the glass into the stands, and it was caught by a fan as well with 9.9 seconds to go.
Give that fan a prize. Nice grab, nice grab.
Nice catch, nice catch. Coming up in our first intermission. Once the clock runs out after these final 10 seconds, we will be throwing to our good pals over at Behind the Bench podcast, and they'll be taking you through your first intermission, talking all things hockey and Wolves. If you have not ever checked out their podcast, you really should. I've had the honor of being a guest on their podcast once. Just a great group of guys. Face off inside the Wolves zone. Shots 11 for Sudbury, 9 for Brantford. Clayton to take the draw for Sudbury against Lichenko. And the faceoff will be won cleanly by Clayton. Ula content just to hang on to the puck and along the boards. A couple bodies go flying, and that'll be it for this first period. As you can hear the horn. No rough stuff at the tail end of this period. Just a couple conversations, that's about it. Period number 1 between these two teams is officially in the books. Rick, your thoughts?
Good start to the game. And the Wolves jumped on that scoring opportunity. Weird bounce off the end boards, and of course that shot banked off Leanders, 1-0. Brantford comes back, shows some skill set, manages to get that tying goal to even things up after 20 minutes, but we've seen some good penalty killing, some good power play efforts. So again, for a team that's way up there, leading the Eastern Conference against a team that's, well, in 8th place right now, trying to find its way to 7th place, Wolves are holding their own, and Brantford's trying to wear down the Wolves in any way they can, but the Wolves are not backing down whatsoever, so expect more of the same in the second and third period.
Jan Hovan, a power play goal for Sudbury, his 12th of the season from Chase Coughlin, Luca Blonda, and then Brantford responds with a goal from Vanacker, his 32nd of the season. O'Brien and Dravetsky pick up the assists on that one. Tied up at 1s after the first period of play. Rick and I will step out for a few minutes. We'll be back to take you through second period action, but right now we're going to throw to the Behind the Bench podcast boys as they'll take you through your first intermission. Over to you, gentlemen. You're listening to and watching Wolves hockey.
You're up.
We're on?
Done. You're on.
All right. Wait for the camera to get there. I may just stand up here.
There?
Okay, we're live here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the BTB live stage. You got myself, Alex Chimino here. You got Tommy Vlahos, as always, from Behind the Bench podcast here. It's been a hectic night here. The Brantford Bulldogs are in town. What a squad. We have two very special guests here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Brett Jacklin with us tonight. Brett Jacklin, former Sudbury Wolf, former Sioux Greyhound, OHL alumni. Used your OHL alumni pass today.
One of the many perks of the OHL.
There we go. I love it. And we have Cole McKay. What a special treat here. The pride of Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario, former Sioux Greyhound here. How we doing, brother?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. And I also used my OHL alumni pass tonight. Shout out Brody Barrick for sending me that this morning via email. So what a treat.
Hey, you got it set up in one day?
Hey?
You got it set up in one day?
Yeah, one day. Yeah, it was just one email, add to the wallet. It's good to go.
There we go. I love it. Well, the boys are here. If you're wondering why, they're here for the SPAD hockey tournament, ladies and gentlemen. We're playing here. Team BTB has a squad. We're 2-0, defending champs. If you didn't know, SPAD hockey. Again, big shout out to them, putting on a fantastic tournament. Brett, this is your third time around SPAD hockey tournament. How are you liking it?
It's been great so far. The SPAD students always do a great job organizing it, and yeah, it's running smoothly. I like the format this year. We only got a game Thursday, Friday, only 2 Saturday, 2 Sunday, a little more load management, so I'm liking that so far.
I love it. Cole, you got your first taste today. You're here, obviously, after coming off 2 national championships with UNB. Now you're off to school in Toronto. So I guess your thoughts, one game in.
Yeah, I don't know when Brett started playing centerman, but I think the management's got to move him out to the wing or even down to the lineup. But it was fun. It's playing hockey now is it's just a fun time for me, as it always has been. But now there's no pressure. So getting up here and playing with good friends like you guys is it's very meaningful. And yeah, if Brett can win a face-off tomorrow, that'd be great. But if not, I'm still gonna have a good time.
Well, yeah, maybe. I mean, we'll have to take a look at throwing you or Cal in there at center too. Maybe, or maybe you hit the face-off dot tonight, Jack. I don't know.
I'd also like to say I won my first draw very last shift of the game when Cal and Cole weren't on the ice, so maybe that could play a factor.
Yeah, no, definitely. Well, let's talk about the game, guys. Obviously, we have the Brantford Bulldogs here in town. One of the best teams, maybe one of the best assembled teams we've seen in the OHL since the Sioux Greyhounds team you both played on. Can you give me the year of that team again?
17-18.
17-18. How many wins that year?
Oh, God.
50... 50 something.
50 something. I think we were 7 and 3.
Yeah. I mean, just a 6 squad, and I mean, we're looking at Brantford here, one of the best squads we've seen assembled here. I guess your thoughts, boys, on Brantford so far. I think Cole's got the best mic right now, so I'm going to send it off to Cole here. Your thoughts on the Brantford Bulldogs right now?
First period, they're a really skilled team. You see how many guys they had send off to World Juniors, Canada alone, but then they also have that other D-man that played for Czech there, Juracek. So It helps when you're able to trade for half the league. The new ownership of the Hymans, they weren't scared and they went out and they grabbed it. And honestly, tip your cap. They're a team that's gone for it. They beat us, or me and Brett, when we were 16, 17, however many years ago that was. And then by the time I was an overager, they won the OHL again, and just they're right back at it. So honestly, I'd like to say that they're the kind of the standard in the OHL. Everyone thinks that you can maybe win once a decade or whatever, but they've been able to turn around now 3 times in a matter of 10 years. So it's fun to watch. They got a lot of skilled players. That Malholtra is pretty special, but it's something that's neat to watch. The OHL has changed a lot, and they're just a team that's always been able to make it happen.
Well, I think I'm going to give up my spot on the podcast here. I think Cole's got it here.
We were 2 mics at work. I don't know about me and Brett. Yeah.
We'll just go one-on-one here, right? 1-1 so far, boys. The Wolves, I will say, have been putting up a great fight. Obviously got into penalty trouble. They have a wicked power play over there in Brantford, but great to see. I think, again, we've talked about this a lot on the podcast, Tom. I think with the Wolves, this new look Wolves that we're seeing now, it's a hard-working team, and there's guys looking to earn ice time. And I think with that, a lot of hard play, and boys got it done. A nice goal there on a hard forecheck, just a gritty one thrown right on net. So, Tom, I don't know. You could give it a try here with your mic.
Yeah, even just being in the building last Friday, that one's working. We'll switch over. Thank you.
Toss that on. Stick the mic right in there.
There you go.
Wow, this is very good. You got a good headset. I was just going to say, just coming off of last weekend, being in this building Friday when they played the best team in the West with Flint, and now let alone the best team in the East with Brantford, they just believe they can play against anybody. You're mentioning a new kind of team with Jan Schoeman basically running the offense now. It feels like he's getting a point every other night.
Yeah.
He's looked fantastic here in the first period. And I just think the Wolves can play with anybody right now. When your confidence is high, especially in a junior league like the OHL, when you're riding off kind of previous wins and going off of each other, and you really don't have a main focal point as in a main guy and when Villeneuve and Walton were here, everyone has to step up, and it looks like everyone kind of is. So. Yeah,
definitely. It's a next man up mentality. That's what we're going to need on Spat Hockey. But I'm going to turn it back to these two guys. So if you mind passing the mic over to Cole here. So obviously you boys were younger guys on a loaded team, like you mentioned, that 17-18 year. Yeah, there we go. Put it nice and close. I guess, what's the dynamic on it? Obviously, you guys were younger, but a lot of firepower on your team. So I guess, how do you guys manage that as young guys on the team?
I would just say we were kind of trying to soak up everything, learn from the older guys, and just obviously playing a limited role on that actual ice during the game, just soaking it up in practice, having fun, and just enjoying the whole process. It was a long playoff run. It was a couple of months, and just really enjoying being around the boys. I think that's all you can really do at that point, and support everyone. And I think everyone just was happy to be there, and just be along for the ride.
How about you, Cole?
Yeah, I guess the less political answer would be just trying to get out of the way. You don't want to be the guy that's messing anything up, especially if you're only contributing 4, 5, 6 minutes a night. You don't want to be the guy that gets in the way of a Morgan Frost when he's in the mojo of a nice playoff swing. So me and Brad, we shared a lot of fun memories, a lot of them off the ice.
Exactly.
Just laughing about how good these guys are and hoping one day be half as good. And we like to think as the years went on, we got close to that level. But it was just fun to watch, fun to contribute in any way, whether it be on or off the ice. But they're really just trying to get out of the way. And not F anything up.
There you go. I love it. Now, question for you, Cole. We only have you here for one night, one intermission here, so I'm going to ask you all the questions I can here. Yep. But you played 2 years youth sports, obviously probably one of the best university programs in men's hockey here in Canada at UNB. Obviously back-to-back national championships and an undefeated year going 4-3-0. Need I say less? It's been a great run for you. But I guess maybe just touch on youth sports, obviously. With the new NCAA thing, that's shaking up a lot of players' roots, but maybe just a little testament to youth sports on your end here.
Yeah, everyone knows the dynamic of it now, right? You give these players that are on the ice in front of us an opportunity to go play in the NCAA. 99% of them are going to take that. And honestly, I would have too. But then you still have to give your respect and tip your cap to the product that is U Sports. Those last 3 years of my life are some of the best memories I have, and a lot of them had to do with the teammates I played with, the coaches, and playing for a program that's within Canada and kind of make a small community in Canada proud. And for me, that was Fredericton, New Brunswick, and I don't think that part of it's never going to go away, but I just feel bad for them because there's not really much you could do to draw players towards U Sports rather than NCAA. It's just a matter of fact, and I do believe there still is a lot of high-end players in U Sports, a lot of guys that I played with that are still there this year, and I watch a lot. I watch every single game that UMB plays, and I'll always be pushing for them and be a proud alumni.
I love it. Jacko, you played U Sports as well, a little Laurentian action, and then obviously at Western, so maybe if you would like to add on to that.
Yeah, I was just going to piggyback off what Cole was saying. Even my short time here at Laurentian, if it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have made my way back to the OHL and for the Sudbury Wolves. I think if I would have went to some other junior league, wouldn't have developed as well as I did and as fast as I did in those 4 or 5 months and made my way back to the OHL. So I think it's just it's coaches that really do care, and they understand that you're maturing just as an athlete and a person, and they're always there for you, and they help push you to become better. But back to you, Al. I think I lost my mic here.
No, we got you. You good? Well, we got nothing on you, Tom. We got nothing. I'm sorry. You got nerfed. You got nerfed this intermission. I'll carry the load. It's all good. It's all good. All right, we got still a little bit of time here to talk around the OHL, boys. Obviously, it's about 3 to 4 teams on each side kind of loading up this year. I mean, I don't know if you guys paid a lot of attention to the league, but maybe, your Sioux Greyhounds, Cole McKay. Maybe you want to talk about them. Yeah. Let's hear about your Sioux Greyhounds.
Sioux Greyhounds. What can I say? They pick up a high-end talent in that with Carter George. I sound like I'm on the panel right now. No,
you are on the panel, man. The BTB panel here.
To be totally honest, I went home over the Christmas break and was lucky enough to chat with the coach there, John Dean, the one that Brett and I both shared in the Sioux my last 4 years, his last couple of years there in the Sioux, and he's a guy that's very passionate. He wants a good team. He can coach any player, but now he's kind of been given the tools from a great GM in Kyle Raptis, and I could speak for myself and other alumni that we played with that are really happy to see that they're kind of pushing the chips in, and they bring in a goalie like Carter, and he's been pretty lights out in the last 2 weeks since he's got there.
Couple talks too.
Yeah, he's got a goal. He's got more goals than Jacko did in the O, I think. But I'm just kidding.
I love it.
No, I'll be pulling for them, and he's a great goalie, and they have a lot of talent in that room, and they're another team that has been able to turn it over a little bit more often than other teams. Still got to chase that standard, like I was mentioning, that Brantford has. But we'll be pushing for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any guys still on that team that you played with?
2, Justin Kluche and Marco Mignosa.
There we go.
Kluche just got back too, so that's another big ad for them. He came back from Arizona State. Yeah. So that's a big ad for them in the locker room and on the ice. So he's a little bulldog out there.
There we go. Yeah. I love it. Jacko, your thoughts maybe around the league?
I like Kitchener right now. Loading up with Sam O'Reilly and Jared Woolley from London. Both leaders in that room. One was the captain, one was the assistant. Sam O'Reilly was a dog during the juniors, counting pucks, playing power play, penalty kill. Stepped up too when Brady Martin went down. So really like Kitchener where they're headed in this playoff run, and Cole can attest to this too. Playing in the autumn playoffs is something special.
That's
that bar
true.
gets rotted, and it's hard to beat that. They have about 7,000 fans, and they feel like they're right on top of you. They get their jams going. It's hard to beat that arena.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be a fun stretch. I like Windsor. We talked about Windsor. Maybe on our end there with Fran and Villeneuve going over there.
Yeah.
Alex Fran, shout out Alex Fran, 300 OHL games hit today. What a milestone. Nice. Veteran. So big shout out to him. We still love Farzi. Even though he's gone now, we still love Farzi. Barzy. But still a little bit of time here to chat, boys. So another question that I have for you. I'm full of questions over here on the BTB stage. You know, that's how we were. Cole, your hamster. The hamster is going. But Cole, let's go back to you. We were talking off the air here. The last time you were here is actually in a Sioux Greyhound jersey. You had a hat trick that night, I believe. I think I got your Eastlink Player of the Game towel. I still have that at home. I think it's my golf towel now. Wow. But yeah, I mean, take us through your thoughts of the old barn here in Sudbury. As an away player, you know, maybe seeing that wolf come across the wire. I know you guys kind of lit it up here when you came, but yeah.
This place is always hard to play, and you know, tonight when we walked in, it's only minus 45 outside. So,
like the Sioux isn't that much colder. Yeah.
Oh, it's paradise there. No, but it's good. This barn is classic. You know, you talk to my uncle who played in the OHL, and you know, many older people that from the Sioux that played in the O. They all know the Sudbury Community Arena is, you know, it's a staple of the league, and I know you guys got a new building here coming up in the next few years, which you're happy about, I hope. At least I would be if I was a player. But no, it's just like one of those classic buildings, and some that are kind of, it's a lost art in the league now. You see a lot of new buildings. You know, the Sioux used to have one. They got rid of it in, I think, 2006. But then, yeah, there's Owen Sound is another one. But Windsor had another one too. But it's just one of those classic barns that you come in and you kind of feel the history. You know, all you got to do is look up and see the wooden ceiling, and then you see that wolf come across, and it's just special. And I never liked coming here. I
love to hear that.
I always like leaving because it was usually with 2 points, but yeah.
He's on fire tonight. We're going to have a Cole McKay highlight reel from this intermission show. Okay, real quick, guys, maybe some keys for the second period here. Wolves and Brantford. Jacko?
I think maybe get on them early. I know they gave them up a late power play to end, and they were kind of snapping around on them, but if they can kind of try to swing their momentum back to them early, maybe get pucks in, play some body, get the crowd into it, energize, I think that can carry them throughout the second half of the game here.
Love it. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen, from the BTB Live stage. We're coming back here in the second period. Hot dog eating contest. Watch out. It's going to be absolutely electric. Cole, thanks so much for coming on. Jacko, thanks so much for coming on. Tom, we're going to get that mic back in action, and we'll be back for the second period intermission. It's a BTB Live stage. We're going to send it over to Coop and friends right now.
Welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. I'm Brian Cooper alongside Rick Wyman, getting set for second period action. As always, a shout out to the Behind the Bench podcast boys, as I believe we'll hear from them again in our second intermission. And if you've never checked out their podcast before, you really should. Lots of great content. Like I said, I had the honor of being a guest on their podcast earlier in 2025. It was just a lot of fun. Great conversation. Like I said, great contact. The amount of people that they get on their podcast is always great. But
so, how come you got the invite and I haven't been invited yet? Like, what's up with that? I thought we were a team.
No, well, saving the best for last, Rick.
I'm sure David Bowen's been on the podcast.
I don't know, actually. I don't know.
Well, he's a celebrity now.
I think I was just a trial run. Let's try those radio guys and see what happens.
Yeah, well, you know, David's a celebrity, having done an NHL game, so...
Twice,
yeah.
Twice. I know, I did message him. I said, listen, we're going to live vicariously through you, okay? I want photos. I want stories.
That's what we do.
No, honestly, good for Dave. That's amazing.
Yep.
Love it. Super happy for him, that opportunity with his dad. And man, oh, man.
And of course, both will be doing the game here in Sudbury on Family Day on February 16th, because they'll be acknowledging Joe for his broadcasting career on Family Day.
Of course, which got started here in Sudbury all those years ago. Pretty cool stuff. Full circle moment. Play continues and has started in this second period, and Bjorn Bronis just put the puck over the glass, but into the mesh and out of play. Just 10 seconds into the period. So that's not a delay of game penalty.
No. Over the glass it is.
I mean, it went over the glass into the mesh.
Yes. But if it's just over the glass, it's not, okay. We'll take a look at that, examine it. Someone's going to pay the price.
All right, face off inside the Sudbury zone. We're tied up at ones. to kick off this second period. Goals from Hovan and Vanacker. Brantford is on the puck inside the Wolves zone right now. No penalties. Brantford moves it around though, just barely keeping the puck inside at the blue line. It's Juracek, burst of speed being shallowed by Henderson. Henderson takes his man down, and the puck will be cleared by Sudbury as Henderson gets mixed up with Jetlachenko, and then Henderson gets a late shot from O'Brien right at the end of that too, and referee's going to toss them both in the box.
What's going on with Henderson lately? He's getting greasy, and the thing is, I kind of like that.
He's getting gritty.
Yeah. So you know what? He's showing both sides. He's got the offensive ability. Great skater. And somebody else is going to go into the box right now, so it'll be 4-on-4. They exchange words.
It's the captain, O'Brien.
Wow, he came in with a cheap shot. Chest high on Henderson. So yeah, definitely. That's a stiff arm penalty for roughing. And Henderson will get assessed as well. So 4-on-4.
O'Brien, a Seattle Kraken prospect. Number 15 overall in the Ontario Hockey League scoring race. Rowan Henderson, currently on his best production yet since being in the Ontario Hockey League. Play continues. 4-on-4 hockey early into this second period, and as Rick and I were saying, there's a good chance this one could heat up a little bit more in this second frame, and it seems like it has started that way as Brantford will lob the puck into the Sudbury zone around the Wolves' net. Yules will put it off the boards, looking for Gonchar. Gonchar couldn't handle the puck, and so look out, here comes Brantford as they return fire around the Sudbury net. Good poke check for Yules. Trial number 2, and Nemitz is waiting for it this time off the boards. Nemitz, forward pass. Yules will join the rush. Yules from the outside shot. Glove save made by the goaltender Leenders, and we'll have a face-off inside the Brantford zone.
Okay, so Brantford coming off the World Junior Hockey Championships. They had a lot of players playing on various teams. Of course, Ottawa vaulted into first place because, well, Brantford didn't have a lot of their best players with the team. So now, kind of neck and neck with Ottawa to decide first place in the Eastern Conference. And, of course, what's very important is that home ice advantage throughout the entire OHL Eastern Conference playoff.
Face-off inside the Brantford zone, won by Sudbury. Yules at the blue line, over to Gonchar. Gonchar back to Yules. Wrister coming, deflected into the corner, and just wide. The goal scorer for Brantford, Vanacker, will clear for Brantford. Not too far, though. Hovan finding the loose puck, and then his stick is lifted by Protz, former Sudbury Wolves defenseman. You might remember Protz was traded away from Sudbury for Noah Van Vliet a couple of years back. As we have an offside call, Noah Van Vliet played a little bit for the Niagara Ice Dogs as well, but Owen Protz, now a Montreal Canadiens prospect, has fit in quite well with this Brantford organization.
Well, of course, as you know, Montreal is the greatest team in the National Hockey League, and they do have smart, very, very smart people picking players. So Michael Haig as well, and they've got Protz, and you know, the list goes on and on. We just don't have enough room for all these good players right now.
I sense bias for some reason. Brantford has the puck back into the Sudbury zone. To the slot, shot comes high and wide. Bulldogs will maintain possession. Frasca gets hit along the boards, and then the Wolves finding the loose puck led by J.C. Lemieux. Lemieux into the Brantford zone. Wrister comes, shoulder save, rebound is there! Leenders makes the rebound save as well. Close call. Sudbury nearly taking the lead. Lemieux keeping the puck in for Sudbury. Over to Provorov. Provorov just inside the blue line. Wrister coming, deflected between the legs and in the back of the net. It's 2-1 Sudbury.
No sense trying to fight the horn here, so I'll give the horn its due. Leenders had that puck, Coop, couldn't hold on, and it trickled through. The initial shot from taken inside the blue line trickled through. He got a piece, and it looks like Lemieux may have touched that puck.
I'm pretty sure he did, and if it's Lemieux's goal, that's 15 on the season now. And just some good pressure from Sudbury. J.C. Lemieux. Speaking of great acquisitions, man, he's been a treat to watch since joining this Wolves organization.
Oh, I like his play since he's arrived.
Wolves are right back into the Brantford zone, not for long. Dennis will skate it with a burst of speed for Brantford. Puts the brakes on just inside the blue line. Cross-ice pass, and it's stolen by Nemitz. Nemitz drop feed for Hovan. Hovan over to Henderson. Rowan Henderson for Sudbury. Wrister on deflected last second. Leaners makes the save. Nemitz standing right in front as the Wolves maybe sensing a little shakiness with Ryerson Leaners. A couple bad rebounds off of him the last couple of shifts, which actually just led to the second goal for Sudbury.
And Leaners with a poke at Nemitz right in front. You can see the stick come up, and he's saying, get out of my way, get out of my path. So the face-off to his left, deep in the Brantford zone. It's 2-1 Wolves lead here early in period number 2.
Provorov, the only assist being listed so far in that goal by Lemieux. And again, that is his 15th of the season. Wolves are up 2-1. 3 minutes gone almost in this second period. Brantford winning the draw, getting the puck to center ice, and then Hudson Martin, whose family has some ties to the Sudbury area, will fire the puck into the Brantford zone. Brantford moving it out. Across the center ice area it goes. Bulldogs will step inside. Opportunity. Shot to the side of the net. Deflected and goes wide. Wolves are right back out in front of the Sudbury net. Coughlin. Coughlin off the boards. Nobody home. He thought Nemitz was going further into the Brantford zone. Bulldogs across the center ice area again. Dennis to Frasca. Frasca backhand pass, and it's caught by Hudson Martin of Sudbury. Martin quick up to Coughlin. Jace Coughlin, a wrister deflected in front of the net and wide. And then Brantford will lob it to center ice. Bulldogs right back in, led by Dennis to Frasca. Now the captain O'Brien. Pass that was beyond the reach of his forward. O'Brien surrounded by a couple different Wolves skaters. Artem Gonchar looking for a little turnover there perhaps. Brantford will clean it up on their own end. Ben Danford, a Leafs prospect, gets hit pretty hard by Braden Bennett right in front of the penalty box area, and that one looked like it may have stung Danford. He's gone to the Brantford bench right away. Brantford inside the Sudbury zone, and a high stick just made contact on the Wolves skater, and so it's going to be a Wolves power play.
Checking for blood.
Carter Kostic was the one who got hit with a stick. And so a Sudbury power play is inbound. It's going to be Nick Rosetto off to the box for the Bulldogs.
And Kostic has got to be very careful. I mean, after all, he suffered a serious eye injury earlier on in his career and fully mended. He's back. But again, anytime you get the errant stick or the puck or what have you, you've got to watch it because anything strange can happen, especially with the errant sticks.
Wolves power play, Sudbury 11th in the league on the man advantage. Brantford number 6 on the penalty kill. Faceoff comes inside the Brantford zone. That draw is won by Sudbury. They're going to get control right away. Gonchar at the blue line. Gonchar cross ice to Hovan. Hovan will wait, loves to shoot, puts it to the side of the net, gets it right back inside the blue line. Hovan. Hovan waiting. Toe drag move, gets a shot, fans on it, gets his own rebound. Hovan back to the blue line. Gonchar wanting to hand off to Hovan, goes to the opposite side where Lemieux is waiting. J.C. Lemieux to the corner, back to the blue line. Gonchar to the center of the blue line, now handing it off to Nemitz. Lemieux on the outside, looking back to the blue line, trades places with Gonchar. Far side, Hovan to the side of the Brantford net. Barahowski to Lemieux, a shot comes. Puck is just barely kept in by Sudbury's Lemieux. But now cleared by Brantford, a one-on-one rush, short-handed Paquette inside the Sudbury zone. Paquette one-on-one with Gonchar, couldn't get a shot off. Wolves come back to help out Gonchar, and the Wolves will regain possession. Paquette taken down inside the Sudbury zone. Gonchar wants to go for a skate, and he does. He's got some wheels out of the Sudbury zone over to Barahowski. Barahowski to Gonchar, a shot. Nice glove save made by Leenders in front. And boy, Leenders had some momentum going back into his own net, and he had to be careful. Caught himself with the post.
Brantford caught on a situation there where it was 5-on-3. There was a line change at the Brantford bench, and of course one skater coming back into the play a little late, and the Wolves had a good chance to increase that lead to 2 goals. 2-1. 5.5 gone here in the period.
Face off inside the Brantford zone, won by Sudbury. Provorov on the outside waits. Shot comes, was trying to pick off that top shelf. Shoulder save ended up being made by the goaltender. Puck inside the Brantford zone. Where is it? Into the equipment of Bennett. And the Wolves with a chance to get possession right back on this power play. And taking a high hit was the defenseman for Brantford from Coghlan. Play will continue with no arms in the air. Bennett taken down hard as well. Power play has 10 seconds left. And now we got a whistle on the play. I think it was just because the puck was stuck in along the boards for so long. But overall, it's been a decent looking power play for Sudbury.
I've got to say that the Wolves are holding their own against this team, and I'm pleasantly surprised because I thought that Brantford would come out like gangbusters having lost last night, but the Wolves are, you know what, they're not backing down, and that's the important key in this game. Got to watch that transition in the neutral zone, Coop, because you've got some elite skill on that Brantford lineup, and they can move that puck rather quickly back and forth.
Wolves won the draw. Blonda at the blue line. Blonda cross ice to Gonchar, who will stay out. Now into the slot. Clayton, a shot deflected. Rebound for Dean. He had the shot, and it went wide. Dean picks up the loose puck at the blue line. Power play's done. Gonchar, wait, to the slot. Another shot. Rebound picked up by Brantford. Potential odd man rush the other way. Here come the Bulldogs inside the Sudbury zone. A wraparound pass picked off by Dean and Henderson. And now we've got an arm in the air. Looks like Gonchar is going off to the Bucks. And so now we are going to see a Brantford power play, a roughing call coming against Artem Gonchar.
Yeah, that's a behind-the-play penalty, and Gonchar goes off. But again, you've got to admire the nature of the passing game for Brantford. Tape to tape on a lot of breakouts. And again, very good passing team. There's a lot of skill set there. So again, the Wolves will be put to the test with their penalty kill here, with the lead in the second as we get closer to the midway mark. But you know, a lot of people are probably saying this Sudbury team's holding its own. It's doing okay. So you know what? We'll buy into that. And they'll need more of this come Sunday in the province of Quebec when they take on the Husky de Rouyn-Noranda beginning at 4 o'clock with David Bowen. So that'll be
interesting journey, that's for sure.
Very interesting, I guess. What, 4 hours maybe by bus from Sudbury to Rouyn?
You hope.
You hope. And I think it's probably quicker using a Highway 11, so as opposed to going through field.
Well, play continues. Face off inside the Sudbury zone. Wolves are on it. Blonda around the boards. So the Wolves, after a power play, they're now killing off a penalty. And again, Brantford ranked number 1 on the man advantage in the Ontario Hockey League, running a 33% accuracy rate right now. Success rate, I should say. But now a steal, shorthanded opportunity for Henderson. Flying his way down the wing. Rowan Henderson is shot. It's like a little poke check from the goaltender. Another rebound out in front. Henderson potentially a chance again. As Brantford, an uncharacteristic giveaway in front of their own net, they come back the other direction. Brantford, now they're set up on the power play. Bulldogs. Frasca back to the blue line. No shot coming yet. They're on the outside. Now at the blue line. Frasca will wait. Over to Juracek. He gives it up. Henderson's already been flying out there, so he's running out of steam. The Wolves will put themselves offside. As Clayton had about 2 strides back. He looks back at Henderson and says, sorry about that.
No. What they say, Coop, in this day and age, my bad.
My bad. My bad.
How many times have I heard that on the ice from players?
My bad.
Yeah, my bad, ref. Sorry for hitting you with the puck. Sorry for getting in the way.
Sorry for arguing with you.
Yeah. My bad.
Face off just outside of the Brantford zone, and it's won by the Bulldogs. Again on a power play for another minute. Dennis for the Bulldogs will gain access to the Sudbury zone. He's going to get hit hard by Ula of Sudbury. Wolves is all the way back there as well. And then Nemitz puts it into the Brantford bench. So another face-off inbound.
Wow, we've got 8 minutes gone here in this game. This game is just ripping by. Couple of games for the Wolves this weekend. Couple of games for the Sudbury Five. Back in action at 4-1 with their record tomorrow against Lake Erie Jackals at 7 and Sunday at 2.
At least be nice and warm in here. Brantford winning a face-off. A shot coming. It's blocked by Ula. Brantford still in the power play. Set up inside the Sudbury zone. Dorvetsky, a pass across, stolen by Henderson, who's out there again to kill a penalty. Rowan Henderson for Sudbury, taken hard into the corner. And we got an arm in the air yet again, and this is going to be another Sudbury penalty, I believe, as Henderson, I think his stick came up high. And it's Dorvetsky. And it's going to be, looks like a 4-minute minor, as there is blood drawn, I believe. So Henderson off to the box after a heck of a kill for Sudbury so far. And Dorvetsky is hunched over, heading back to the Brantford bench.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the visors. That's at the World Juniors. They always wear the cages, Coop, and that's for safety's sake. But sometimes visor is very cool to look at. But sometimes you get pucks and sticks jammed up there, and the consequence is not good.
So easy call for the referee. Wolves are now down. It's a 5-on-3 opportunity for Brantford. One-time shot came and it went wide, and Blonda a chance to clear. He can't. Juracek at the blue line. 5-on-3 set up inside the Sudbury zone. Brantford to the side of the net. Pass out in front and it trickles in. So there's the tie game, and it's a shot. I think it may have gone off a Wolves defender in front of the net.
And just like that second Wolves goal.
Kind of weird one, and went right between the legs of Bjorn Bronis. Gonchar out of the box, and Henderson will remain in.
With 3:42 remaining in his penalties. The double minor.
That was just a strange one. There was a pass out in front. It actually went off the skate in front, I believe, of Van Acker. So that might be his second. We'll have to wait confirmation on who's given credit for that one. If it is Van Acker, that's his second of the game. Power play goal. 2-2. 11:20 to go in the second period. Brantford remains on the power play. Lachenko out of the Brantford zone. Nearly puts himself offside. Brantford has to reset. Then Malhotra receiving a hit from Ula. Getting the puck into the Sudbury zone. Nemitz over to Dean for Sudbury. Dean quick up to Ula, the defenseman for the Wolves. Ula has his stick lifted, and look out, Brantford back the other direction. Jumping into the Sudbury zone on the power play, but a whistle is blown. Looks like an offside call made against Brantford.
Yeah, the guys out calling offsides and doing the icings. Zach Gagne and Kyle Bradley. Zach, a veteran official, NOHA official, has done a lot with the OHL. Kyle, a couple of seasons in, he'll drop at second, or at center ice, rather.
So it's Lachenko being given credit for that power play goal for Brantford. Assists going to O'Brien and Juracek. So O'Brien a couple points in the night so far for Brantford. Juracek, the secondary assist. Tied up at 2s, almost the midway point of this second period. Dennis for Brantford into the Sudbury zone, gets a wrister off. It goes high and wide. Brantford set up on the power play again, which has 2.5 minutes left. Shot coming, deflected in front. That was a good block for Blonda. Gravetsky pass back to the blue line.
Nobody home.
Nobody home, so comes right back to the Brantford crease, essentially. The goaltender, Ryerson Leenders, the Buffalo Sabres prospect, lets it go. And then Brantford will skate into the Sudbury territory. They're going to gain access to Sudbury's zone, but the Wolves had a chance to move it out. Brantford at the blue line. Dravetsky seems to be okay after receiving that high stick. He's on the power play. Angle to the side of the net. Pass out in front. Brantford nearly got one, but then it's the Wolves clearing thanks to Chase Coughlin. A long kill this is for Sudbury. Brantford's Devresky over to Dennis, who will fly into the Sudbury zone. Shot comes, another one, and it's a pad save made by Bronis. As now Paquette exchanges some shots with Ula in front.
Well, Ula hit him from behind.
Yeah.
High, just in maybe just around the neck area with a shot. So the referee's there saying, okay, guys, you've got a guy in the box with 1:44 left, so let's keep it down.
Face off inside the Sudbury zone. So they have corrected. It is, in fact, Merrick Van Acker's second of the game. Lachenko and O'Brien with the assists. So that puck did go off the skate of Van Acker. Face off inside the Wolves end, won by Brantford. Again, still on the power play. Here's Malhotra, shot deflecting into the corner. Brantford still on the puck. Back to the blue line. Good active stick that time for Clayton, and he's got to hustle back to the Wolves bench to get a change. Nemitz will step on. 1:20 left in this power play. Anxious moments for Wolves fans here at the Sudbury Community Arena. O'Brien dangling his way into the Sudbury zone, and Brantford will get set up again on the power play. Malhotra, shot comes. Good save made for Bronis. Speaking of Malhotra, I haven't had a chance to chat a whole lot about him. Caleb Malhotra coming into this game, number 4 overall in the Ontario Hockey League. One of those unsung heroes, I think, of the Brantford Bulldogs. But he's also number 2 among rookies in the OHL. He's just tearing it up this season.
His father, Manny Malhotra, former Vancouver Canuck, saw him play his junior hockey when I was doing the Game Scoop many moons ago with Guelph. Very solid player.
Apple doesn't fall far from the tree, as they say, right, Rick?
It's all about genetics.
Well, Brantford on the power play, still set up inside the Sudbury zone. One-time shot coming high and way wide, and Blonda stopped that one. About 50 seconds to go on this power play. Puck has been mainly inside the Sudbury zone. Brantford an opportunity. Shot comes, deflecting into the far corner. Brantford will maintain possession. Lachenko, cross-ice pass, and a good steal for Hovan, who will poke it right back into the Brantford zone. 30 seconds left, and then a steal shorthanded for Hovan. Hovan, opportunity in front, pad save for Leenders. Rebound was there for Clayton too. Well, then Ryerson Leenders had to be oh so careful as Hovan is looking skyward. He went forehand, backhand, just couldn't get the puck high enough.
I like the steal, that's good. Tries to go to the backhand, but the pad just a little too high for that puck.
Face-off will be inside the Brantford zone. Wouldn't that have been something? Wolves get a shorty at the tail end of that monstrous penalty kill. They win the face-off with 20 seconds left on the power play. Puck goes right back under the stick of goaltender Bjorn Bronis, who played it off the glass but not out. Brantford will keep it in at the blue line. Gravetsky, cross-ice pass. Bulldogs will move it around. Angle at the blue line. Shot deflected into the mesh. Out of play. 3 seconds until Henderson is set to step out of the box.
Well, good penalty kill by the Wolves. Okay. Brantford tied it up. There was also an extra man in the box there, so you got to do what you got to do sometimes, and you got to watch those penalties. We're going to check out some of the out-of-town scores here in just a moment. Just past the halfway mark of period number 2 in a 2-2 game.
Face off inside the Sudbury zone. It's won by the Wolves. Henderson is going to step out right now. So back to even strength. That was a long penalty kill. And now, just like that, a penalty coming to Brantford. As the Bulldogs are going to be penalized. And it's going to be Ryder Bolton going off to the box. And he is chirping his way the entire march there. He is not happy about that.
Okay, out-of-town scores. Kitchener and Owen Sound tied at 1. It's Sarnia 2. London no score. Flint and Windsor tied at 1. Kitchener 7. Saginaw no score. Yikes. And Erie leading Guelph by a score of 3-2. A lot of these scores heading into the final few minutes of period number 2, but that's 7-0 score. Kitchener over Saginaw.
So the Wolves back on a power play. They're set up inside the Brantford zone. Hovan on the outside to Lemieux. Down in the corner. Nemitz back to the blue line. Gonchar. Gonchar will wait, wants to shoot. Hands it off to Nemitz. Nemitz trades places with Gonchar into the corner. Lemieux cross ice looking for Nemitz. Couldn't get a shot off. Wolves still have possession. Nemitz in along the blue line. Back to Gonchar. Gonchar waits to Hovan, who loves to shoot. Back to Gonchar. Shot comes deflected in front. Where is it? Picked off by the Bulldogs, and they're going to clear back into the Sudbury zone. One skater for Brantford will be able to change. That's Lachenko off. Stepping on, Dennis Cooper. Brantford with a steal, shorthanded opportunity. O'Brien leading the charge. Waits, toe drag, shot comes. I think a save made by the mask of Bjorn Baronis. And then Brantford will maintain possession back inside the Brantford zone. Now lobbing the puck forward, eventually into Wolves territory. 45 seconds left in this Sudbury power play. And unlike their last man advantage, they have not spent a whole lot of time inside the Brantford zone yet. Lemieux will skate his way into the Brantford zone, up to Hovan. Hovan back to the blue line, pass, nobody home, and so J.C. Lemieux will have to come all the way back for Sudbury. This power play having some struggles, Rick.
You've got a pretty effective penalty killing unit out there too.
But a forward pass for Sudbury and nearly taking an icing call. Brantford will pick up the loose puck. Protz to the side of the net, out in front, and now we got another penalty coming. Arm is in the air, high stick made contact, and I think this is going to be a Wolves penalty.
Yes, it is.
As Mr. Chase Coughlin is now making that skate to the box. So no shortage of penalties in this second period.
And you know what? There are some fans who don't like penalties. I think the referees are calling a good game because no one's getting away with murder here. Proverbial murder in regards to offenses with the stick or what have you. So they're calling it close. You committed an offense. You're going to the box, and why not? Both teams are getting power play opportunities. So keeping it very tight, according to the referees tonight.
Well, right now, Chase Coughlin and Ryder Bolton are having an extended conversation from one penalty box to the other. They weren't even on the ice at the same time, but that conversation is going to continue. A little bit of 4-on-4 hockey until right now when Bolton steps back on the ice. Wolves in their own zone.
And Bolton's still yakking.
And Bolton's out. He goes right back to the Brantford bench. So we'll have to keep an eye on Coughlin and Bolton as soon as Coughlin is out of the box, perhaps. So now Brantford is back on a power play. They just had that extended one not too long ago. Malhotra jumping into the Sudbury zone, but a good steal for Ewells. Look out! Put it right into the Sudbury bench. Off the hand of, ouch, Braden Bennett, who had his glove off at the moment. And he's being looked at right now. Yikes.
Flying pucks. What are you going to do?
That is a stinger as Bennett is doing the whole handshake right now. One of those accidental plays. Keep an eye on Braden Bennett on the Wolves bench. Face off inside the Sudbury zone. Raw won by the Wolves. Odell surrounded by Brantford skaters. Along the boards, back into the slot. Opportunity for Brantford. Pass across. It'll be picked off. And then Dean, a little spinorama move to clear the puck. Nemitz helped that play out as well. Braden Bennett still being looked at on the Wolves bench. Just a really weird, fluky situation. Brantford out of their own end. Still on a power play. Lachenko leads the charge. Around the Sudbury net with 4:40 to go. Tied up at 2s, by the way, in this second period. And this time it's Blonda a chance. He took a swing at it, could not clear the zone. Brantford, another shot from the outside. Deflected into the mesh and out of play.
We're in for a really good third period here, Coop. If this trend keeps up, I mean, right now, you've got power plays, penalty kills, and you've got some good action going on at both ends of the ice. Take a look at the shots on goal. Really not indicative. I mean, scoring chances have been better, but again, 21-15 in favor of the Sudbury Wolves. But tight game, and that's the way we like them. 2-2 here late in the second.
Shots 21 for Sudbury, 15 for Brantford. And to quote you, Bulls have held their own against this top-ranked team in the OHL. Here's an opportunity off a face-off shot from Brantford, and it goes wide. Brantford will maintain possession. Power play has about 20 seconds to go. They're inside the Sudbury end. Coughlin standing ready to come out of the box. Brantford moving it around, waits. Bulldogs to the outside. No save coming. Now it does. Pad save for Bronis and a pile up in front of the net, a yard sale. And then Coughlin is going to step out of the box. He stays on. Right off to the forecheck for Chase Coughlin. Coughlin hard on the puck behind the Brantford net. And then look out. Ula lays the boom on Rosetto. Now Frasca and Ula. Ula getting a couple right hooks from Frasca. And that scrap did not last long. Ula received a couple right hooks as Frasca was on his way down. And Ula is a little shaken up after that one.
Ula's younger. He's not used to some of the veterans on this Brantford team. But Frasca didn't like what happened prior to that, so he took matters into his own hands.
Boy, oh boy. Ula, right back to the Wolves dressing room. So a healthy, probably 4-second scrap between Frasca and Ula. Ula's been throwing his body around pretty much everywhere. And look at this, Rick. The Wolves bench right now. Whiteboard comes out. J.C. Lemieux grabs the whiteboard from the head coach, Scott Barney, and writes up a plan for his teammates.
Okay.
I've never seen that before. Lemieux says, here, I got the plan. Here's what we're going to do. Barney just kind of said, okay. It's good leadership right there. Face off inside the Brantford zone, 3:46 to left. Brantford, by the way, picks up the instigator penalty on that, so the Wolves are back on a power play.
So Frasca's an 06 birth date.
Okay.
There you go. So he's 19.
Brantford killing off a penalty. We've seen a plethora of power plays this period, that's for sure. Late in this second frame, Wolves have their turn on the power play. Across the center ice area, Hovan dropping for Nemitz. Nemitz around the Brantford net. First on it, Barahowski. And then Nemitz joins the rush as well. Hovan in along the boards. Along the glass is O'Brien, and now Brantford a chance to clear. They're going to lob it the distance right back into the Sudbury zone. Gonchar off the boards, and he gave it away to Paquette. Paquette being surrounded by Wolves skaters. Short-handed opportunity then. Paquette throws a hit up high at Hovan. Looks at the referee. Jan Hovan, who's got one this game for Sudbury. Quickly over to Barahowski. Barahowski, toe drag move, shot comes, deflected into the corner. And then the Wolves will get set up on the power play, but the puck cannot stay inside the Brantford zone. Power play, 40 seconds left. Period has 2.5 minutes to go. Sudbury, here giveaway again, as they're having some issues getting set up here. Nemitz along the center ice area. Nemitz on the outside, Barahowski. Barahowski back to the blue line. Gonchar can't shoot. One-time shot for Lemieux, deflected off of a Brantford skater in front. Took that puck way up high. I believe that was Ben Danford. And now he's gone to the Brantford bench, right by the ear, as he's holding his ear going off to the Brantford bench. Man, this has been a crazy period.
Players being hit by pucks, sticks, and everything else, so he'll be looked at. Brantford with a pretty aggressive forecheck in regards to, trying to keep Sudbury at a distance and not giving up very much on that power play situation.
Power play, 22 seconds left. The period has 2:08 remaining. Face off inside the Brantford zone. Won by Sudbury. Hudson Martin waits, gets a shot off, easy glove save, and Chase Coughlin, one last hack, and he gets a little mouthful from Juracek. Well, as you and I predicted, this period has certainly escalated in the intensity levels, that's for sure.
The two teams battling at both ends of the ice, whether it be in Brantford territory or the Wolves zone. I mean, getting pretty physical, chippy at times, but we'll see what transpires here in the third. We got 2 minutes to go in the second with this game tied at 2.
Face off inside the Brantford zone. Draw is won by the Bulldogs. Off the glass it'll go and out. Back into Sudbury's territory. Going to be picked up by the Wolves goaltender Bronis. Bronis, his third straight start, by the way, for Sudbury. Make that his fourth straight start, I should say. And you know what? He's been steady back there for the Wolves lately. Minute and a half. Power play is officially done for Sudbury. And now a player is down again inside the Brantford zone, as I believe it was Chase Coughlin with a hit. And he gets an earful from Owen Protz. Now Protz and Coughlin are going to meet, and an arm is in the air. And now everybody's in. Look out. Everybody wants a piece of Coughlin. Pushing and shoving, and everybody is in along the Wolves bench. Luca Blonda involved.
That's the dangerous spot, too. Anywhere near that bench is not good for the opposing team.
Chase Coughlin getting a couple left hooks along the Wolves bench. Owen Protz. Just about everybody wanted a piece of Coughlin there. I'm not sure what happened. It was something behind the scenes as Ryder Bolton. This is what he does for the Brantford Bulldogs. And somehow Ethan Dean is on the bench. His arm was out there somewhere, and Bolton is going to be asked to leave. So, with 1:22 to go, they're going to have to get this sorted out.
Well, the two referees are talking things over. Coop, anytime you're in front of that bench and you're wearing an opposing sweater, not good. Very, very dangerous situation. You can be clutched, grabbed, held, call it what you will, and, you know, your teammates will start drilling you if your arm is tied up or what have you, so that'll happen.
And so Chase Coughlin, that entire sequence, did not drop a glove. He actually received a bit of a right hook from Ryder Bolton at one point. Bolton is gone. He's gone down to the Brantford dressing room. 1:22 left in the period, by the way. Protz is in the box for Brantford right now, as he was kind of the first one in who started the skirmish. Coughlin is still over by the Wolves bench. There may have been, I'm not even sure what started all that, as Vanacker got hit by Coughlin, and that's kind of what drew the crowd. Vanacker, of course, 2 goals on the night. Penalty box door is remaining closed as of now for Sudbury. Just the one minor to Protz. As Jan Hovan is trying to get an explanation from a referee right now. The other referees discussing with head coach Scott Barney at the Sudbury bench. And it looks like we might be ready to roll here. And Rick, it looks like it's going to be a Sudbury power play after all of this.
Well, I only see one man in. Bolton was probably sent off to cool off. Who knows? He may have been given a 10-minute misconduct or a game misconduct. We'll have to wait and see.
Well, he kind of came flying out of nowhere, and he wanted every piece of Coughlin. And Coughlin's right now saying he punched me in the nose.
So it is going to be a Wolves power play. And the referee is basically telling the Wolves bench, okay, I've heard enough. We're going to drop the puck. We're going to play.
Coughlin and Barney continue to discuss with the referee. And now the referee is saying
somebody else coming in for the Wolves.
There is going to be a penalty for Sudbury. Maybe not.
Oh, yes, there is.
Now there is. So Coughlin's going to make his way to the box.
Yeah. I like these referees. I like that take charge, command presence on the ice. So Bolton was asked to leave and Coughlin's being asked to leave. So I'm just wondering if either misconducts or game misconducts have been assessed.
Well, we'll have a chance to figure that one out. But it is a Wolves power play nonetheless. Fans are unhappy here at the Sudbury Arena. Wolves are inside the Brantford zone. A shot came from Hovan high and way wide. In fact, it comes all the way back inside the Sudbury zone. Final minute of play in the second period, tied up at 2s. 2 goals this period, one from J.C. Lemieux from Provorov, and then Vanacker, his second of the game, a power play goal for Brantford. Nemitz for Sudbury, jumping into the Brantford zone. Bulldogs have the loose puck. They cannot clear. Lemieux cross ice to Hovan. Hovan back to the blue line. 40 seconds to go in the period. Gonchar at the blue line. Cross ice to Hovan. Hovan will wait, twisting and turning, looking back at the blue line where Gonchar is waiting. Over to Gonchar. Gonchar in front of the net. Shot! Nemitz off the post. The lights went off. But play continues. What is going on?
It's not a goal. It went off the post.
Brantford in front, and then Bronis makes an amazing glove save. What is happening? Lemieux the other direction for Sudbury. Everybody thought it was in, including the arena crews.
That's the problem. They turn off the lights.
And then Brantford went on a 2-0 the other way with a few seconds to go in the period. That was Nemitz. Nemitz thinks it was in the back of the net.
The referee was there. He didn't indicate the puck was in the net.
And so they are probably going to have a look. They're showing a replay right now. And that is going to be a good goal for Nemitz. They just showed it on the Jumbotron and the fans erupted. What a bizarre sequence. As Nemitz scores, he's the only one who knew it went in the back of the net. The lights of the arena turned off. The play goes the other way, a 2-0 for Brantford. Bronis makes an amazing save on a 2-0, and then the period runs out. They've looked at it, and that puck definitely went in the back of the net. My goodness. And so there it is. It'll be Nemitz being given credit for that one as they have to officially finish off the period. But they had to add 30 seconds onto the clock. 30 seconds.
Too much confusion going on.
So the puck has dropped, a wild one here at the Sudbury Arena tonight as the Wolves fire it right back into the Brantford net. 3-2 Sudbury at the tail end of the second period. Crazy one this period. Here comes Brantford the other way. Rossetto is shot. As now we get some more pushing and shoving. Rossetto and Odell. Lachenko is in deep as well. And you can only expect that there's going to be some last-minute conversations happening, no matter wherever the puck freezes. What a bizarre sequence here.
Well, I know that the Wolves game crew has theatrics with the lights and what have you after every goal scored. So, again, they were right in doing it. The puck did go in, but not according to Brantford.
Well, play continues. Face off inside the Sudbury zone. Final 10 seconds of the second period. Puck trickles to the Sudbury net. And then Henderson's going to be hit hard. An emotional game here tonight so far between Sudbury and Brantford. As Paquette and Henderson have a conversation. What a wild one as the Wolves now go over to Bjorn Bronis, because through all of that, he made a phenomenal save on a 2-on-0 rush. It was just a really weird sequence. Nemitz and the arena crews knew the puck was in the back of the net, but the referee said no goal, so the play continued.
So that goal wouldn't have counted had they scored, because there was a goal that was scored beforehand, but was never officially classified as a goal. So again, that would have caused some big issues going on.
Unreal. What a crazy second period. Shots 23 now for Sudbury, 17 for Brantford. And it will be Adam Nemitz being given credit for that one, his third of the season from Gonchar and Jan Hovan. Your thoughts again, Rick, at the tail end of period number 2.
Well, the Wolves did what they had to do in terms of trying to take advantage of this Brantford team, and they're not relinquishing. They're not relinquishing in terms of the battle right now with Brantford. They're giving it their all, and the thing is, as we can see, it's been a kind of a weird ending to the second period. But hey, give the Wolves credit. Personally, I thought Brantford was going to come in here and mop up the floor with Sudbury. You know me, the discrepancy. First place, 8th place, this team's got to be all over them. But you know what? The Wolves haven't backed down. Nope. This is round number 10 of a 15-rounder right now. Mm-hmm. We've gone through 2 periods, and the thing is, Wolves have got to continue this fight right through to the finish, to the 15th round. Don't back down, and the thing is, you want to get physical, be physical, and I think that's the telltale story. Brantford may have expected the same team that they faced in the fall when they beat the Wolves twice.
All right, period 2 officially in the books. 3-2 Sudbury after 2 periods of play. Nemitz his third of the season. We'll step out, but right now we'll throw over to our good pals at Behind the Bench podcast. You're listening to and watching Wolves hockey.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the BTB live stage. We are here during the second intermission. This had to be the craziest period of hockey I've seen in a long time, fellas. Like, I am at a loss for words. Anyone want to chime in here? Sorry, let me introduce you guys again. Let me start.
I got a mic that works now, So
yeah,
thanks.
I'm at a loss for words just by this period. I don't know where to go off the start. We got Tommy Blaus, as always, back here. Alex Chimino here, and then we got our special guest, Soo Greyhound alumni. We have Cole McKay, and then Soo Greyhound, as well as Sudbury Wolves alumni, Brett Jacklin back here, and we got the mics firing on all cylinders. Tommy, let's go to you because you didn't get to talk last period. What the heck happened that period, bud?
It's a classic Sudbury Friday night, man. I mean, they're up for the challenge. Everyone knows how good Brantford is. Sometimes you look on the ice and you're like, how are these guys able to assemble this team? It's basically a mini all-star team with assembled along themselves. So, I mean, the Wolves are playing really good. They got a late goal there, 3-2. They had to go to Toronto for that one, and they called it a goal. The arena erupted, so now you got the home ice advantage here with the crowd into it. And I mean, it's getting a little chippy as well, so you love to see that. And yeah, if anybody touches you like that in Spat Journey, Chip, I'm not going to do the same.
Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I won't be doing the same.
Yeah, I know you won't. It was soft. Okay, Jacko.
That had a bit of everything, like Tom kind of mentioned. We had a couple goals, a few each side, a couple fights. I kind of missed the one. I don't know what happened. Eula might have got suckered. Can we confirm what happened there?
We'll dive deep into that. Yeah.
I would just like to say too. I said they got to bring the energy early. They got an early goal, and you can tell the whole arena kind of got behind them there, and then it carried them through the second period.
Mac, or anything to add?
Yeah, I think that was a great period for the Wolves. To me, it looks like Brantford is, let's call it spade a spade. They're coming in here as a superior team.
Yeah.
They should kick the crap out of these Wolves. And it's almost like they're overthinking it, especially when they're on the man advantage. They have the firepower. They got Luchenko, O'Brien, Malholtra, they got Juracek, they got, the list goes on and on. It seems like these guys have almost too much space. and they're not really clicking like they would in a normal game.
Kind of like us this afternoon on Spat.
Exactly like Brett. Usually he'd be snapping those draws back at 60, 70%.
But he's probably 1 for 20, so yeah.
Great period for the Wolves, though.
I got one for Macker. Macker, you were on a team, I believe, that had a power play north of 40% or high 30s, correct?
Which one?
No. It was the power play you were actually on. I think you were playing bumper. I think it was one of your last years.
Yeah.
But what was the success? Because like you mentioned in Brantford's power play, basically probably got to keep it simple. But like, what worked for you guys back then? And as a power play specialist, like, what's the key to success?
Honestly, that year that you're alluding to, my 08 year, it was at the top, at the start of the year, we had Ryan O'Rourke and then Rory Cairns and then me, Ty Karche, and then we had Jack Thompson.
Yeah,
such an old legend.
Thanks, Homer.
That's not bad.
Yeah, thanks, Homer. So you have that personnel, but honestly, we were clicking at, like you said, 35 to 40%. And really, for the first 35, 40 games of the year, all we did was Cairnsy down to me into Karche. He scored 45 goals that year. He signed with Seattle, and now he's made an NHL career for a lot more reasons other than that.
Yeah.
But that's really the basis of our power play. It was very simple. Move the puck. Yeah, it ran through a lot of guys. We had Tanner Dickinson as well, who suffered an unfortunate leg injury later that year, but we had so much talent, but we kept it simple. Shout out Jamie Tardif, one of the best assistant coaches I've ever had. He had a real knack for the power play, and it was just simple. Simple is better.
I love it.
All right, let's go into the game, guys. This period, kind of, again, a great start from the Wolfers, like you mentioned, Jacob. But I want to go to a key moment that kind of started the chaos here. Frasca from Brantford, kind of obviously standing up for his teammate after a hit from Jen Sula. I don't think he gave Ula the chance to drop the gloves. I thought it was a little bit cheap if you ask me, a little bush league if you ask me. He dropped the gloves and suckered him, and I mean, he got him pretty good. And I don't think Ula had a chance at all. So I don't know if you guys saw the same. Your thoughts?
Well, two guys that played in the league and had a couple fights. I'm not sure about you. I know he had one. But you got to let them at least the nets come off, right?
Yeah.
At least, just to be. I mean, at the end of the fight, I think they're like kind of thanking each other. I don't know how that works, but like he didn't even give him the opportunity to get like his bearings right.
But I don't know the personnel too well. I do know that Brantford does have a lot of this high power that we're talking about.
Yeah.
So for those guys that are lower down in the lineup, we talked about last intermission, find a role, contributing. Yeah. So when a guy does get hit like that, there is that added pressure to this is my time to step up and give some value to my team. So there's a little bit of that involved, I'm sure. I didn't watch the play too closely. To me, it looked like he gave him a little bit of an opportunity, but again, that could be a 16-year-old. Again, I don't know the personnel too well, forgive me, but that's again the nature of the OHL now is so young, and but yeah, there is that point. I don't know if you would kind of add on to that, Brett.
I'll just say a little bit of a showmanship and respect for one another. Maybe give them a little second to drop the gloves, at least square up, maybe grab on one another instead of just giving them a little sucker there. But like you said, the way the Brantford Bulldogs are stacked up, he's probably just thinking, I got to stick up for one of these big dogs here, so he's just trying to make an impact for his team.
Yeah, if I'm reading it correctly, Frasca got a misconduct for instigating, 5-minute major for fighting, and then a 2-minute minor for instigating. Yeah, so that's quite a rack up there.
Yeah.
And I think I do agree with that call. And then later on, guys, a big hit here from Chase Coughlin, who's trying to find that bite back in his game, and he brought it there on that hit here along the left side of us here. Owen Protz, former Wolf, who, I mean, looks great, phenomenal, but wants to stand up for his teammate, tries to go Coughlin, and Coughlin wasn't having it. So I guess, I don't know, what's your take there, Tom?
I mean, it goes both ways. Like, good for Protz for sticking up. I think he's like the third or fourth D on that team, and he sees one of his guys, probably a top dog, I'm not sure who got hit, that wants to answer the bell, but Coughlin kind of skates away saying, it's a 2-2 hockey game, you can come at me, and we'll be on the power play. And they were on the power play right after, right? And they ended up scoring that goal. It was a tie game, and Cole mentioned they probably shouldn't be a tie game. Brantford should be winning this one just because how good they are. But Coughlin probably looked at it and said, hey, like, I was just playing hockey. Not the right time to answer it. I know the crowd is packed, and he is in OA. It was probably taking everything in him not to do that. I'm not even sure. I think they were probably former teammates too.
Just briefly.
Just briefly?
Yeah, briefly.
But
Brats got traded at that deadline.
You see both sides. I mean, selfishly, stand on the stage, I wanted to see it because, you know, it's a Friday night. It would have been
Barnes buzzing, yeah.
It would have been amazing. But the Wolves got a power play and they ended up scoring, so it worked out in the Wolves' favor as better than it did in Brantford's.
Yeah, and I think Brats too. I mean, you're looking for it, you're not getting it, and then you had an extra slash on his pants shell like that. It's just you're going to hear the sound across the arena. So
yeah, but there will be something this period. You would assume.
For sure, I would say that too.
And then, I mean, let's go to what actually happened. The Wolves score.
Yeah.
Cole saw right away. He's like, that's a goal. The lights go off.
That was wild.
And the buzzer goes. The horn goes. The refs never blew the whistle.
I was going to say, good for Luchenko and whoever else was on
They
that.
didn't stop playing.
They just kept going. And it's like, I thought, as a fan, I thought the play was dead. But these guys went on 2-0. So good for them for keeping the play alive.
What would have happened, and I'm going to ask you guys played in the league, if Brentford would have scored, they would nothing. Well, they would have called that goal off and called the Wolves in?
Yeah, what would have happened, exactly. This goal was always going to get reviewed from the start. Because when it's ever close like that, they'll make sure about this one. And if this one happened to not be in, then that one would have counted. But if not, it would have been very awkward.
Yeah.
It would have been good entertainment, actually. But I thought that was in. You know, my keen eye. I'm just kidding. Big late goal for the Wolves.
Yeah.
Are you guys shocked they didn't blow the whistle when the lights went off?
I thought when the lights
went off. Don't you just blow the play dead?
I think that they even had the spotlights out on the guys celebrating, so I thought they would have blown it dead.
That's a pretty poised play by the ref, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, definitely.
They got to call the game how they see it, and if they didn't see it go in, then they got to let it go. But
those are tough. Right under the bar like that, man. When you're on the goal line, you can't even tell.
Yeah, exactly.
What the difference
in and out so fast that it's hard to see.
Yeah.
That period had a little bit of everything. Yes, sorry, you're gonna add that?
No.
Yeah.
Shooters know when it's in.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Shooters don't. Yeah. Shooters don't. I mean, again, one of the craziest periods I think we've seen in a long time. Looking forward into this third period, what are we thinking here, Tom?
I mean, we have the lead. Probably hold on for dear life. I mean, it's been such a good 2 periods, but you know Brantford's going to load up. Their big guys are going to probably see the ice more often than not. And
their big guys are lines 1 through 4, so yeah.
1 through 3, I think. I think they're 4 or 5. Yeah. You're going to see a lot of the topper end guys, okay, the 1A guys. And, we'll see how they respond. I mean, if Brantford probably gets one in the first 10 minutes, they'll probably come away with the win. The Wolves just got to hold on for the first 10, in my opinion.
Jekyll.
I would just like to add on about big plays last period, too. How about Ben Danforth taking one off the noggin?
Yeah.
I better see you laying it like that out tomorrow, Chip.
Could have been a scary one.
I know. There's been some weird bounces in this game.
I would just like to say, too, like that guy's coming back from World Juniors. He was captain of Oshawa, and he's still blocking shots like that. So I think they're really bought in here, and I can see the Bulldogs doing something special.
I like that.
I think the Wolves got this game in their hands right now. You got to think Brantford, they're the better team. I already alluded to it before, but they're gripping their sticks right now. Yeah. They almost feel like they have too much time. So I think the Wolves, if they just try and sit back and protect this lead, they're in real trouble. If they go at it and attack, you put the pressure on Brantford the first 5-6 minutes, I mean, then those sticks are really going to start to get gripped a little bit more tighter. But I think if they go in attack mode, get 5 or 6 shots in the first couple minutes, and then just chisel that clock down, that's more in their favor for sure, rather than just sitting back, chipping in, chipping out. That's way easier said than done. It's a good team over there. They have a lot of experience. You mentioned Danford. He's been to 2 straight OHL finals, World Juniors, along with Leafs traffic. They got a lot of experience. So it's easier said than done, but I think you try and keep them on their heels as much as they can and try and weather the storm.
This guy's been unbelievable tonight.
Yes.
Like, unreal.
And one thing, because it's probably to get chippy, boys, you can't get in a special teams battle with Brantford.
No.
If you give them a couple more power plays, we mentioned how, unsuccessful it's been right now, but if you give them more opportunities than not, it's going to be in the net sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. Across the league, fellas, Kitchener up 2-1 over Owen Sound. Sarnia Sting up 2-0 over the London Knights. Windsor up 2-1 over Flint. Kingston with a big 8-0 lead over the Saginaw Spirit. And the Erie Otters up 3-2 over the Guelph Storm. We're minutes away from sending it over to Coop and friends. Guys, just maybe some overall thoughts, maybe across the league, maybe SPAD hockey. What else you got for us here?
Yeah, anything? You guys got anything? Okay, I got one. How does it feel to share on the line again together? You guys haven't played
Did
together.
you guys play together?
I don't think we ever played together. We're both right wingers. We were going for each other's heads.
So,
That's true. I wanted Brett to mess up back in the day. in the most polite way possible.
Yeah.
So it's just good to have Cole back. We haven't seen each other for a year, so usually we make it a point to see each other every summer, get some rounds of golf in or something, but it's just good to share the ice with each other once again, and hopefully we can go on a little run here there, Ali Poo, go back
that's
to
right.
back.
Hopefully we can do
And
it.
Cole actually did at dinner, Tim. I know we weren't together. He did confirm another bench brawl. I'm just going to let you know about that.
Oh, that's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah, if you don't know, folks, bench brawls, those are our golf matches that happen. Check out our Instagram. We are 1-1 in this series right here. Tom and I versus Brett and Cole. We went to the Sioux 3 summers ago now. Wow,
Are you-
dating myself now.
Were we not the original
That's
bench
right.
brawl too, or what?
Yeah, the
I think we were the original bench brawl, were we not?
You were.
The
Yes,
first?
you were the first original
you
bench
were.
brawl. That's right. Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
first guest.
when
first-
Jacko quit on me on the back nine.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
never
yeah.
forget that. Never forget that.
He was dialed in the
Can
second
we just
match,
go
though.
to the doggos?
It's
It
tough
was
when you're
hot.
carrying your
It was hot.
partner
We had a
for the
night
whole
before,
nine
too,
holes.
so-
Yeah. No, that's so good. Yeah, no, it'll be fun to get the band back together for sure. I guess Cole, now you've moved on. Life after hockey now. After playing full time for a long time, now you're off to chiropractic school. So maybe shed some light on the transition outside of hockey now.
Yeah, the transition hit me later than you think. My last game was in Ottawa. They broke our hearts in Nationals last year, and then I stuck around in Fredericton and then was working out, training with my teammates just as I normally would. And then come August, I went to school, and yeah, I was lucky enough actually to meet a couple guys at school that were ex-U Sport players as well. So, just having that hockey camaraderie kind of helped a little bit. But, as the weeks went by, you have your weekends again, Brett. You know what it's like.
Yeah,
you have your
nice.
Saturday, Sunday, nothing to do. It's like, what the hell do I do with myself?
Yeah.
You can only watch so many, you can only watch so many Leaf games or watch your old teammates, but like at the end of the day, you're just twiddling your thumbs. So that was the biggest adjustment for me. And then also, having 20, 25 friends just built right into your, everyday routine. In the Sioux, we had guys like Brett, Holden Whale, Joe Carroll. We do everything together. And then you go to university and you go to school and then you go to the rink for 4 hours. And now it's, you wake up, go to school, and that's it. But you just gotta wake a way to, find joy in the little moments and reminisce, but also look back and be happy for the experience you had, and kind of look forward. I'm very happy with where I'm at, and I'm sure Brett would say the same way. We kind of worked super hard to make the OHL and earn that scholarship, and then make good on it afterwards. So
Exactly.
that's kind of where I'm at right now, and happy to where I'm at.
Awesome.
Oh, I love it. So, with that free time, have you got yourself into maybe fantasy football? Have you got yourself into?
Yeah, I lost a heartbreaker in the finals this year. In my one league, in my other league, I missed playoffs, so it's tail two tapes. But
I love
other than that, I'm trying to think what I got into. Really, I don't know. But I still watch the Hounds, UNB Reds. Don't watch the Wolves at all. Why would I, right?
Well, he's from the Sioux. We get it. We get it. It's fine. We'll let that slide.
And we're in the same fantasy league with Chim. What are your thoughts on his success so far in our hockey league?
I mean, usually Jim's in the bottom of the barrel. I think this year
I'm a terrible fantasy
I
hockey
think you're
league,
in
man.
playoffs, though. Are you not this year?
I'm in the playoffs right now. Yeah.
we'll
I may be on a full.
I'm also
full bye.
coming up at
It's
you,
like the
though,
OHL,
so-
though. 10-team league and 8 teams make it.
That's right.
Yeah,
Basically the same
exactly.
That's
thing.
right.
So
And I got a ton of draft picks I got to start dishing on because I got to be all in here.
the problem with Jim here is he's just not he doesn't have a team, so he doesn't have anyone to root for.
Whoa.
He's just a free agent here.
No, I'm
so-
not a free. I'm a Habs fan. I'm a Habs fan. I'm
Now
a
he is,
casual
'cause
Habs
they're
fan.
good. 'Cause
Casual,
they're good.
very casual.
Casual Habs fan.
Macker, if you were to meet Chim and you were to look at him and say, which NHL team does this guy cheer for? What screams your name?
Buffalo Sabres.
Why is that? He's a fraud? Is that why?
Decided to cheer for them this year because they're actually good.
Speaking of which, though, Buffalo Bills, what do you guys think about them firing McDermott?
Yeah, I think it's not good over there right now. Like,
If I was Keon Coleman, I'd go to my stall and pack my crap.
He's out.
Oh, man.
let
That's
alone
so
him,
tough.
but I think a lot of other players are thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, ownership doesn't have any of these guys' backs now. Like, basically they went into that press conference. Everyone kind of saw it. I don't really have to talk too much about it, but he's like, it wasn't me or management that wanted to draft this guy. It was the coaching staff. Like, when do you ever really see a coaching staff
it's crazy
wanting to draft a player? Like, usually in success in franchises, the GM and the coach kind of get along, right? You guys seen it in the teams you guys built in the Sioux. I'm sure the head coach and the GM were talking every given day. And it sounds like Bills fans, that doesn't look like they were close at all. So
speaking of management, let me play host here for a second. I'll go to Chim first and then you. Chim, what does it mean this SPAD tournament to win it, to go back to back? What would that mean to you?
Oh, it means everything. We put a lot on the line. I mean, we said we weren't coming back, but I think there was always that thing in the back of our head saying, I think, we're saying this now, but I think for the main part is like, why wouldn't we get a group of guys together like that in the room again? Then we get yourself to come down, which is great. So, no, it means everything. To go back-to-back would be great. To go for 3 for the 50th anniversary.
Stay for 3.
Home by 3.
Home by 3.
Hopefully we have that chance to go for 3 because next year is the 50th anniversary, so it would be really cool.
And to answer that for me, Macker, I didn't play last year. I was battling the capital V word. I don't like to say it because I don't want it to come back. So I coached these guys. It was really fun, but I wanted to share the ice, so I'm happy we ran it back. How I see it is, I want to win. I want to make it to the finals. The more games, the better. Like, I don't want to just play tomorrow at 3 and we're not going to be out, but like your tournament could be done tomorrow afternoon for some teams. So the more games, the better. I get to see all the guys in the locker room, the quarterfinal, semifinal, and I just want more sleeps to looking forward to the next day. Like that's all that matters to me. Just spending more time with you guys and being on the ice with you guys again is what I look forward to.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah,
to be honest,
you want to
jump in?
I was going to say to continue with that, I'm hoping we're going to get the job done here. I have a lot of confidence in our group, but what happens next year, regardless for the 50th year? Do you run it back one more final year?
I think so. I think so. I'm saying that now. I think regardless, we go one more time. It could be, but I think we make a decision if we're going to call it the last dance. And if it is the last dance for the 50th anniversary, that's it. We're done.
I think we got to load up even more than call all the heavies in.
Absolutely.
Us being a Northern Ontario pod, we have Cole as a resource. He's got some Sioux buddies that are done playing now that we can call the phone.
Yeah, we'll call Holden Whale. He's still playing? Holden Whale's still playing.
Yeah,
we'll get him though.
We can get him down here.
We'll get him. I'll be honest, I thought we were going to have to sell you more on coming. But
I'm in. When Brett says jump, I say how high.
That's awesome.
You gotta love it. Well, folks, if you want to come check out the SPAD Hockey Tournament, it's at Carmichael Arena all weekend long. If you want to come watch BTB play, we're at 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then stay tuned for quarterfinals, either 7 or 8 o'clock, and then finals, semifinals will be happening on Sunday afternoon. So it's going to be a great weekend of hockey. We have great hockey here with the Sudbury Wolves. Actually, Wolfers heading to Rouyn-Noranda on Sunday.
That's a roadie.
That's a major roadie. Little interleague play there. But yeah, so if you want to check out SPAD Hockey, we're actually going to bring on a few guests, a few conveners on the tournament for the post-game show. And with that, folks, we are going to send it off to Coop and Friends just momentarily. We're here from the BTB live stage. You know where to find us, all podcasting platforms, Behind the Bench Podcast. We're going to send it off to Coop and Friends right now. Ciao.
Welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. I'm Brian Cooper alongside Rick Wyman, getting set for third period action. And, well, if you're just joining the broadcast, a hello to you. Rick is making his way back as we speak, but the second period saw a plethora of action. Yeah, there was, total of 3 goals. Lemieux and Nemec scored for Sudbury. Nemec scored with 30 seconds to go in the period. And the craziest thing about that goal was that he was the only one who knew that it went in. And so I guess the arena crews also knew because the lights went out. The play went back the other direction. There was a 2-on-0 for Brantford. Baronis made a phenomenal save. The period ran out, and it was eventually declared as a goal. So the Wolves are leading by 1 as we kick off third period action. Puck
Puck is dropped, and it's back into the Brantford area. So Coughlin is in the penalty box. He took a misconduct at the tail end of that period as well. Brantford into the Sudbury zone. Vanacker, who's on hat-trick watch, gets a heavy hit from Yules in behind the Sudbury net. Brantford, big shot from the blue line. Picked off by Rowan Henderson. Takes it off the shin pad. And then Henderson gets a heavy hit from Protz. Wolves are deep inside the Sudbury zone. Protz throwing a hit on Dean. Juracek taking down Hovan behind. And Vanacker will glide his way into the Sudbury zone. Vanacker dropping for Juracek. Shot deflected high into the glass, but remains in play. Nemitz, spinorama pass to Hovan. Hovan for Sudbury, chipping it into the Brantford zone. Hovan throwing a hit. Off the boards it'll go. Eventually into Wolves territory, and it's going to be an icing call made against the Brantford Bulldogs. 1 full minute in. So as I was saying, Chase Coughlin took a misconduct for unsportsmanlike at the end of the period. Owen Protz kind of started the whole skirmish with a roughing minor. But Ryder Bolton was given a game misconduct for abuse of the official. And so right now, Jens Ula and Frasca of Brantford, they also dropped the mitts in the second period. They're in the box, and they should be set to come right back out in the next couple of minutes. 3-2 Sudbury. The only goal in the second period was from Vanacker, a power play goal from Lashenko and O'Brien. Face off inside the Brantford zone. Lemieux, Hovan, Nemitz, Odell and Blonda on the back end for Sudbury. Puck is dropped. Brantford puts it off the glass all the way down into Sudbury's territory. Odell will be first man back. Puts the brakes on, handing it off to Blonda, who loves to skate with the puck. Blonda dropping for Odell. Odell makes his way to the center ice area. It'll be sent into the Brantford zone. JC Lemieux, who's got one in the game so far tonight, is 15th of the season. Skates it up, but now Brantford the other way. Malhotra pass out in front. Bronis not needing to make a save, but Brantford will get set up in the Wolves' end. Not for long, though. Good steal for Lemieux. Lemieux to Provorov. Provorov, 1 assist in the game for him this evening. Brantford in their own ends, off the boards. Malhotra off a couple skates and back to his defenseman. That was Ben Danford. Also another crazy situation in the second period. He took a puck off the ear and left for a little bit. So good to see him back in the game here this evening. Barahowski for Sudbury down the wing. Chipping it. And the Wolves back inside Sudbury zone. Sudbury are going to skate it out. Out they come into Brantford's territory. Wolves are all the way back. Wolves are all the way back. Brantford, the center ice area. Rosetto gets hit hard by Ethan Dean. And then Clayton picks up the loose puck. Out in front, nice feed shot, nice pad save for Leenders. And then all the way back they come. Right around the Sudbury net. Blonda off the boards, Odell. Odell looks for Henderson. Puck ends up center ice. And the Bulldogs will clean it up in their own ends. 3 and a bit gone in this third period. Some of the heavier hits have been thrown already in this frame too. Hovan back into Wolves territory. Stretch pass off the skate of Gonchar. He couldn't find the puck. And look out, here comes Brantford with a burst of speed, but Lachenko overskated the puck. Brantford now, forward pass. Vanacker will deflect it into the Sudbury zone. Yules off the boards. Nemitz is back there defensively as well for Sudbury. Off the boards, puck goes off the helmet of Hovan, and that stung him. Brantford all the way back. Protz going to be hit hard and along the boards. Gets it up to Vanacker. Look out, big collision, and Provorov throwing the hit on Vanacker.
I think that's his best hit of the season.
I was going to say, things you don't expect to say. With all due respect, you don't see Provorov throwing the massive hits. That one was just a good open ice collision between him and Vanacker. Brantford into the Sudbury zone. Shot comes, deflected into the glass, remains in play around the boards, much like in the first period. Good pace. However, I say that, and there's an icing call with 15:42 to go in the third period.
Well, that's okay. We're off to a good start here in the third period, Coop. And again, when you start seeing hits in the center ice area like that we just saw, hey, why not? But the Wolves have certainly taken a bite out of that physicality apple and have applied that to a game. I mean, we didn't see any of the physicality that we're seeing now earlier on in the season. And they're not afraid. They're not backing down. And, of course, it's keeping them in the game. And right now, at this point, with 15:42 left, it's keeping them in the lead.
Face off inside the Sudbury zone. Prize won by the Wolves. Hudson Martin will put it off. And eventually to center ice. Sandu, though, for Brantford. Over to Ben Danford, who, like I said, took a puck off the ear in the second period. Fires a pass across, and they score. One-time shot, and Brantford once again has tied up the game. It's a 3-3 tie, and that will be Charlie Paquette, Dallas Stars prospect, wiring that one in the back of the net.
And he got that shot away just outside that right face-off circle. Top edge of the face-off circle, and no chance for Baronis on that one. Good blast, and it's a 3-3 game. Things are changing constantly. This game is quite fluid, both ends of the ice. So again, Paquette making no mistake. He scored last night at North Bay in that 5-4 loss to the Battalion, so he can put the puck in the net as well.
I believe Ben Danford is going to get the primary assist on that one. We'll await official word, but it is tied up at threes here tonight on this frigid Friday night at the Sudbury Community Arena. It's feeling like minus 40 outside right now, so can't wait to get into my vehicle after the game is done. I don't know about you, Rick.
Oh, there will be a quick walk to the vehicle.
Play continues. Odell skating out of the Sudbury zone. Across the red line. We're going to wire a wrister right off the blocker of the goaltender, Leenders. Brantford will twist and turn in their own end. Shots are 24 for Sudbury, 19 for Brantford. Bulldogs will fire it right back into the Wolves' end. A high stick made contact, so a whistle on the play.
Coming back. Good game, though, so far this evening. We've had a little bit of everything, even a score clock malfunction that we had to wait out in between the second and third period. So again, Brantford sharing top spot in the OHL East with Ottawa, battling the Sudbury Wolves after winning the first two games in this season series. So again, the Wolves trying to get something going, maybe trying to get that lead. Maybe now, maybe later. Get one now while you can.
Well, Wolves win the draw on their own end, and they fly back into the Brantford zone right off the hop. A shot off the pad of Leenders. Good pad save for the goaltender. Off the boards it'll go. Brantford skating it to center ice, and it'll be stopped by Ula. Ula wiring it in for Sudbury. And a steal for Henderson. A shot from the outside. Clayton got tangled up with the goaltender Leenders. Now in front was Clayton. Clayton and Leenders continue to jostle, and then Brantford will skate the puck the other end. Icing's going to be waved off after the Brantford skater won the race to the puck. Ula in behind the Sudbury net gets hit late at the blue line angle. Wrister comes deflected last second. Pad save made by the goaltender Bronis. Wolves fire the puck out of the Sudbury zone. Brantford all the way back. Angle will lead the charge at the center ice area. Now Brantford, a burst of speed. Wrister on, pad save made by Bronis. And now some more pushing and shoving in front of the Sudbury net. Spearheaded mostly by Paquette, the goal scorer. So Cooper Dennis and Ben Danford picking up the assists on that Charlie Paquette goal.
Don't forget, we've got to get this game over with eventually, because they've got to set the basketball floor.
Oh, man.
After this game tonight, so they've got to do the cleanup, get the floor in, and that takes, I think at last count, whatever, they had it down to a science. 6 hours maybe by the time everything is said and done.
All the respect in the world for the crews who have to do that. And sometimes it's a Wolves game on a Friday night, 5 game on a Saturday night, and then a Wolves game on a Sunday afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's flip-flop, flip-flop, flip-flop. And it, so they're, I guess, fortunate in that way where it's back-to-back 5 games Saturday and Sunday, but still, I don't know how they do it. All the respect and kudos in the world to the crews who work overnight to get the thing flipped around.
It happens so often in NHL rinks, so again, there's a system to it. It's due diligence. Get the right crew out there. They know what to do and clean up the mess in the stands and get the floor down ready for tomorrow night at 7.
Well, face-off will be inside the Sudbury zone. Hovan to take the face-off for Sudbury, wins it cleanly. Ewells off the boards, quick up, looking for J.C. Lemieux, but it's Protz for Brantford. Protz all the way back. Protz, a pass forward that eludes everybody. Icing's going to be waved off as the Brantford skater did touch it before it went in. Wolves are okay just to get it out of their zone with 13:20 to go in the third period. Puck is kind of stuck in the neutral zone area, closer to the Brantford side. Not for long as Brantford finally pokes it into the Wolves' end. Lemieux putting it right behind the Sudbury net. Artem Gonchar. Bit of a giveaway as Protz is on the outside. A shot. A little blocker save for Bjorn Bronis. Brantford looking to get a pass back to the blue line, and then Sudbury will eventually skate it out, led by Hovan. Hovan needs a line change, so he bats it in. And it's stopped by the goaltender Ryerson Leenders as now Brantford comes to a complete stop behind their own net. Adam Juracek will move it forward. And then a giveaway for Brantford as Wolves skaters are flying. That's Carter Kostic and Barahowski on the forecheck. Brantford moving it around their own net. The Wolves with another steal. Barahowski back to help out defensively. Luca Blonda, backhand saucer dish over to Martin. Hudson Martin for Sudbury, quick up to Kostic, and then Barahowski picking up the puck. Barahowski to the slot, no shot available for Martin, and the Bulldogs will skate it to center ice. Look out, Hudson Martin throwing the bit of a thunderous hit as well, just inside the Wolves' blue line. As the second period, we saw just about everything when it comes to physical intensity. We saw a scrap. We saw just about everybody involved at the end of the second period. Brantford will continue. There's a busted stick inside the Sudbury zone right now, too. Some shrapnel, as you could say. Blonda back for Sudbury. Little backhand pass to the side of the Sudbury net where Ulo was waiting. And then Blonda gets on his horse and makes his way across the Wolves' blue line. Center ice, wiring it around the Brantford net. Dean, who we've seen really elevating his play this season for Sudbury, gets an opportunity out in front. Shot comes, it deflects wide. Dean for Sudbury, little backhand flipper. He'll find Henderson. Good forechecking pressure from Sudbury right now, but Brantford moving it out, cross center ice in a hurry. And then we're going to have a whistle on the play. Perhaps, is that an icing call, Rick?
Yeah, pretty close, pretty close. Going to bring it back.
Face-off comes right back into the Brantford zone.
Hey, these guys are my brothers on the line. I know these guys. I've worked with these guys. You know what? Whatever they say is good enough for me.
There you go. There you go.
It's all in the brotherhood of officiating.
One of us. One of us. Face-off inside the Brantford zone. Bulldogs win it. They will fire it into the Sudbury zone. Gonchar a chance to clear, but it's taken out of the air. Shot comes from Brantford by Van Acker on hat-trick watch. And a glove save is made by Bjorn Bronis.
That Van Acker is snooping around the net all night long. Couple of goals so far in this game, and having a good road trip with a goal last night in North Bay and a couple tonight.
Yeah, Van Acker, a Chicago Blackhawks prospect, number 2 in scoring. And believe it or not, it's Caleb Malhotra who's the leading scorer for this Brantford club, the rookie. Number 4 overall in the Ontario Hockey League. Face-off inside the Sudbury zone. Hovan face-to-face with Charlie Paquette. Paquette wins it for Brantford. Shot comes high and into the glass directly behind the Sudbury net. Bronis not needing to make a save. Wolves will come out with the loose puck. Hovan up to J.C. Lemieux. Lemieux gets crunched in along the boards. Hovan helps him out. Hovan trying to find the loose puck, and it's found eventually by Vladimir Drovetsky. Drovetsky doesn't get too far. Turned back by Lemieux. J.C. Lemieux to the slot. Provorov. Shot comes. Blocker save made by Leenders. Provorov in along the boards. Again, tied up at 3s if you're just joining the broadcast this evening. About halfway through the third period. Brian Cooper alongside Rick Wyman. If you happen to be watching the camera, listening, maybe at SudburyWolves.com or on YouTube, we thank you for hanging out with us on this chilly Friday night.
Chili, that sounds like a good post-game meal.
Oh man, that sounds so good right now. Provorov wiring it into the Brantford zone. And then it's the Bulldogs who will move it around to center ice. That's about as far as they get as Sudbury puts a stop to that rush. Now an opportunity for Barahowski into the Brantford zone, taken down, runs into the goaltender Leenders.
Almost too many men.
And Barahowski's glove ended up in the back of the net. The puck did not. Hudson and Blonda back there for Sudbury. Wolves will fire it right on net. Leenders will steer it aside. Bulldogs will move the puck out in a hurry as Ula throws a hit. Puck will trickle to the Sudbury crease. And now we got a little bit of pushing and shoving in front of the Sudbury net. Not a whole lot more gathering though.
Okay, so back in the day, goalies, as you just witnessed, Leenders and Baronas played the puck on a bouncing puck shot from a distance. Years ago, and we saw this in the NHL, goalies stood up. And in some cases, the bounce off the ice and players would deliberately shoot the puck at goalies and score.
Interesting.
It happened occasionally, but now they're getting smarter. They know how to play the puck.
Well, play continues. Jens Ula throwing another thunderous hit as he's been doing all game. Got into a scrap back in the second period as well against Frasca. Wolves in their own ends. Clayton forward pass intended for Dean. Dean overskated the puck, so now Brantford will turn it back the other direction. Protz, he overskated the puck, but got it back to himself inside the Brantford zone. Bulldogs move it around. Protz now deflecting the puck into Wolves territory. Baronas in behind the Sudbury net. He'll just leave it for Odell. Odell up to Lemieux. Lemieux gives the puck away. Vanacker, hat-trick watch, takes a shot. Goes off the shin pad of Odell. Inside the Wolves zone is Hovan. Hovan gets around his man, gets the puck into the Brantford zone with 8 and a bit to go in this third period. Puck goes up and I believe over the glass.
Went off a player.
Off a player, so no penalty on that play.
Yeah, it was deflected off a player. But getting back to that goaltending style, over the years, of course, the guys, the evolution of the actual application of goaltending styles, and the thing is, the guys today are just so adept at doing so much more. And of course, you always want that goalie to be very athletically inclined, and as opposed to before, you put in the weakest skater to play it goal. That's probably what happened to me.
Play continues. 8 and change left in this third period. Brantford inside the Sudbury zone. A pass across and now a giveaway opportunity. Shot. Nice pad save for the goaltender Baronas. And a hit late on Lemieux inside the Sudbury zone. He is a little bit stunned by that one. He's off to the Wolves bench right now.
That was a costly giveaway that almost gave Brantford a 4-3 lead.
And Baronas to the rescue. What a save. Save of the game so far. Play continues. Brantford right back in, and it's now
interference right there.
We're going to have a stoppage in the action. Bodies are flying everywhere. Vanacker in the mix with Yules. As Vanacker's just back up onto his feet, and he's in a little bit of discomfort right now. Extended conversation as, well, Chase Coughlin is back on the ice now. We have not seen him since the second period when he got his misconduct.
There was interference on the Brantford player, but they're not calling it. And the thing is, the referee's saying, okay, guys, let's not get started here. Tight game, 7.5 to go.
Face-off just outside of the Sudbury zone. Coughlin on the bench now for Sudbury. Hovan out there with Lemieux and Nemitz. Gonchar inside the Wolves end, up to Yules. Yules to Lemieux. Look out, deflected over the glass into the stands, and it's caught by somebody. I hope, anyways. That puck was over the glass in a hurry.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you, but overtime is coming up. Unless somebody scores in the next 7.5 minutes.
7:27 left. Lots of hockey left to be played in this third period.
You like overtime?
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't like overtime?
Okay, just checking.
Back into the Wolves end it goes. Hovan, backhand saucer dish over to Nemitz into the Brantford territory. Wee takes a shot and it's blocked. Nemitz twisting and turning into the slot now. Shot comes from Lemieux and he's hit again. Hovan looking for the loose puck. Good pressure right now from Sudbury. Nemitz, Lemieux, and Hovan. Great pressure. But Brantford back the other direction. A stretch pass for Malhotra's shot, and he scores.
Malhotra.
We talked about him a few times in the broadcast, leading this Brantford club in scoring. And it is a 4-3 lead now for Brantford.
His father Manny scored probably not as much as his son right now by the time that Caleb's junior career is going to be over. But opportunistic, Coop? Tell me about it. Pounced on that puck and beat Baronas one-on-one.
22 goals in the season for Malhotra. Leading this Brantford squad. That is point number 60 on the season. 4-3 Brantford. 6:40 left. Around the Sudbury net as the Brantford Bulldogs put the pressure on inside Wolves territory again. Brantford coming off of back-to-back overtime losses. A loss just last night in North Bay. Brantford still has the puck inside the Sudbury zone. Bulldogs, Juracek in along the boards. Juracek to the side of the Sudbury net. Out in front to the slot, eventually to the blue line. Shot comes, blocker save made by Bjorn Bronis, and now we're starting to see some extra hacks and whacks after each and every whistle.
Well, now Brantford has the lead. They want to put the pressure on Sudbury and get Sudbury to back off. Sudbury now playing catch-up, down 4-3. 6:10 to go here in the third period, so now Wolves have got to throw everything they've got the next couple of minutes at Brantford and get the Leanders and get that tying goal to force the overtime.
Face-off inside the Sudbury zone. 26 shots for Sudbury, 25 for Brantford. Face-off inside the Sudbury zone. Draw one cleanly by the Wolves, and Ula, I should say, puts it off the glass into the Brantford zone. Wolves are on the forecheck. Dean off the boards to Henderson. Henderson will wait. He'll fire a wrister on, deflected in front. Odell joined the rush as well. He gets hit hard and along the boards. And then the Wolves are unable to keep the puck in the zone. Icing not called. Ula all the way back for Sudbury. Does a lap around the Sudbury net. Now makes his way across the center ice area. Coughlin out to take a shift for Sudbury, and then Brantford. Then Danford will put the pass forward. Coughlin taken down, and it's going to be a penalty coming against Brantford as Coughlin took a bit of a spill. And so Sudbury is going on the power play with 5:24 to go.
Well, here's the opportunity. This is what you want. You're down 4-3. Just over 5 minutes to go. Here's your chance to tie things up. I mean, you just gave up a goal. A good one at that by Malhotra. Now, start firing some rubber and see what you can do to tie things up.
So we didn't see a whole lot of Chase Coughlin from that second period on because of the misconduct that he took, obviously. But now he's been back on the ice, and Brantford is very well aware every shift he's on. He draws a penalty. It's Lechenko in the box, as both Howlers are currently harassing Lechenko right now. And then We're going to see a Wolves power play with 5:24 to go. As you said, Rick, this is the golden opportunity to tie things up.
There's no better time than now.
Face off inside the Brantford zone. Hovan, Nemitz, Barahowski on the blue line. Gonchar and Lemieux. Face off won by Sudbury. Gonchar at the blue line. He'll wait. Gonchar can't shoot. Hands it off to Hovan. Hovan, toe drag. Shot comes. Rebound is there. Wolves another shot. It goes wide. Another shot. Rebound again. It's in the back of the net. Wolves tie things up. Oh, man.
Wow.
Put pucks on net and crazy good things happen. And it's J.C. Lemieux.
Goal number 2 for Lemieux. On the spot. Put it by Leander. So again, you get the penalty against Brantford. You cash in. Now it's tied once again. And the jinx is off since I've already mentioned OT. But that's okay. That's okay.
I didn't want to say it.
Well, that's okay.
All right. The jinx is officially off.
You know the next goal wins, right? Either regulation or extra time.
And I'm not sure what happened, but Jake O'Brien, the captain of the Bulldogs, has just headed down the hallway to the Brantford dressing room. Have to keep an eye on that Brantford bench. 5 minutes to go in third period action. Regulation tied up at 4s. Wolves have tied things up. They were down 4-3. And a goal by J.C. Lemieux, a power play marker. Golden opportunity. And they cashed in big time. Right now, the only assist going to Hovan. Brantford jumping back into the Sudbury zone. Big collision in front of the Sudbury bench. And then the Bulldogs will pick up the loose puck. Cooper Dennis jumping into the Sudbury zone. Brantford unable to get a shot off. Around the Sudbury net, it'll go again. Dennis, he's a crafty, speedy skater for Brantford. Gets it back to the blue line. Dennis, one-time shot comes, and a good save made by Bjorn Bronis.
Good rebound control. That was the key to that. 4:17 remaining in the third. So 4-4. Why not? It's been close all night. Why not 4-4 heading into the final few minutes?
What a game this has been. Face off inside the Sudbury zone. Draw is won by the Wolves, and a couple players went down in a heap at the face-off dot. No arms are in the air right now. Final 4 minutes. As look out. Big reversal hit thrown by Ben Danford on Nemitz, and play will continue. This game has had just about everything, and we're glad that you're hanging out with us for it. Brantford back into the Sudbury zone. They get the puck around the Sudbury net. Nemitz along the boards, and look out, Nemitz is nailed from behind, and he's down in some discomfort. Heavier hits are being thrown. And Nemitz is still down in the corner.
Well, and the referee didn't think it would merit a penalty, so that's what the fans are howling about. Now they're talking to each other, making sure that if anyone saw something or may have missed something.
Just kind of looked like a collision in the corner, and Nemitz went down awkwardly. He's still down. And so, as Rick mentioned, both refs and linesmen are huddled up in front of the penalty box.
That's what you do. You confer.
You make sure, right?
Yeah. In the event of anything, especially the two refs will see. They've got the vantage points, and the thing is the linesmen are brought in for good measure. Did you see anything? And if someone points out that there may have been contact of ill nature.
And so Nemitz is back up, and credit to the Brantford bench. They're tapping their sticks as well. Good sportsmanship. You never like to see any player go down in an injured situation. Nemitz he skated to the bench in his own strength, so that's good news. 3:37 to go. Wanted to say they added an assist on that Lemieux goal, by the way, to Barahowski. 4-4, 3.5 left in regulation. Wolves have the puck right now at center ice. Ewells is going to wire it into the Brantford zone. On the forecheck is Ethan Dean throwing a hit. Ethan Dean finding Henderson out in front. Backhand shot trickles to the net. Dean was standing there. Now some pushing and shoving. Nothing more comes of that, though, as Dean and Danford have a little stare down, but nothing more comes of that.
Leanders, by the way, has only lost 3 games this season. That's what happens when you're playing on a pretty good hockey club.
You know, Brantford has only lost 1 game in regulation on home ice.
What does that say when you're playing with a bunch of talented players on a good hockey club?
Unreal, right?
Yeah, they're having an incredible season, and had they not lost players to the World Juniors, be a near perfect record.
While play continues, Wolves are inside the Brantford zone, putting the pressure on. Shot off the pad of goaltender Leanders. Speaking of which, puck is fluttered to the neutral zone area. Picked up by Brantford. They'll poke it into the Sudbury zone. Just under 3 minutes to go in regulation, tied up at 4s. Wolves with a giveaway inside their own ends. Brantford will look to capitalize on that. They've got the puck right now. In along the boards to the side of the Sudbury net. Coming back to help out, though, is J.C. Lemieux. Every skater is needed from this Sudbury squad. Back the other direction comes Hovan for Sudbury. Hovan waits, shot high and way wide, and the puck will come way back into the Sudbury zone. Hudson Martin, the defenseman for Sudbury. Head up the whole time. Doesn't like what he sees, so he does a little restart. Now to the center ice area where it's deflected in by Blake Clayton. Brantford Bulldogs. Forward pass out of their own end to Van Acker. 2 goals on the night for him this evening. Brantford will take it in. A couple hefty collisions there between Paquette and Martin. Puck dribbles out dangerously in front of the Sudbury net. And now it's found by Blonda. Clayton up to Dean for Sudbury. Hudson Martin all the way back again for Sudbury with 1:40 to go. Wolves slow it right down, taking opportunity to have possession of the puck. Defensive line change coming. Blonda on the ice for Sudbury. 2 goals in the season for Blonda, but 15 assists. So he's been producing, that's for sure. Puck fired back into the Brantford zone by Sudbury. Jan Hovan, who's seen quite a bit of ice time this evening for Sudbury with 1:15 left in regulation. Brantford has the loose puck. And then Lemieux is decked, but he gets the puck over to Hovan regardless. Around the Brantford net it'll go. On the forecheck is Nemitz. Final minute of play in regulation. Brantford in behind their own net. Saucer pass over to Angle. Angle quick up to Paquette. A shot that went wide of the Sudbury crease with 40 seconds to go in regulation. Brantford content just to take it all the way back. That's Malhotra. Malhotra now a 60-point season for him. Look out. Brantford into the Sudbury zone. Pass out in front of Saucer dish. And it was Blake Clayton going flying into the Sudbury net. And took it way off its moorings. And with 29.9 seconds, they're going to have to fix up that situation.
Yep, get that net back on its moorings. And normally the pegs are pretty deep. That doesn't normally happen. But the thing is, sometimes you get that hit. It'll take it off the moorings pretty quickly.
Face off to the side of the Sudbury crease. 29 seconds left in regulation. Wolves trying to win a face-off. And this time it's kind of loosened behind the Sudbury net. Picked up eventually by Henderson, who breaks away with a burst of speed. Henderson inside Brantford zone. Brantford will turn it right back. Final 15 seconds of regulation inside Wolves territory. Bulldogs, the shot comes deflected into the mesh and out of play. Now 9.3 to go on the clock. 9.3 seconds away from potential overtime, if that's the case. 3rd straight overtime for Brantford. I wonder what the record is for most consecutive games going to overtime for a single team. I'd be curious to know what that is.
We'll have to call up the league office.
That's right. Who do we know that would know? Face off inside the Sudbury zone. We're not there yet with 9.3 to go. We're still in regulation. Blake Clayton to take the draw for Sudbury.
Guys are jumping here. Like, straighten it out, drop the puck. Here we go.
Face off is won by Brantford at the blue line. Maybe an opportunity, final shot. They get it, and it's a pad save for Bronis. And a good one. And we are officially heading to 3-on-3 sudden death overtime. And what more would you want on a Friday night, Rick?
I love the 3-on-3. You know that. I don't like the shootout. I wish they would continue at 3-on-3, but I'm not the commish. 3-on-3 is good for me, and it's pretty exciting. And I think it's a fitting end to what's going down here tonight. I mean, the Wolves had the lead. Bradford came back. Brantford gets the lead. Wolves come back, so hey, why not?
Well, how about this for a crazy stat? Brantford has not won a game in overtime this season. They are dead last. 0-6-1.
It's the jinx of the overtime.
Isn't that bonkers? This team that's number one in the Eastern Conference. As for Sudbury, they have gone to overtime 3 times. 1-1-1.
So what happens if Brantford goes to the playoffs and games go into overtime? At this rate, if they don't win in overtime this season, that could lead to their proverbial downfall.
Interesting stuff.
Wow. Okay. You'd think with a team like Brantford and their record, their one-loss record, they'd have all bases covered.
Well, yeah, you look at their stats. Home record, 17-1-2-1. On the road, 14-9-1. Obviously, great record for Brantford. So, Wolves are going to put out Nemitz, Hovan, and Gonchar. It's going to be Lachenko, Malhotra, good choice for Brantford, and Adam Juracek. Here we go.
Juracek, remember him from the World Juniors. Good player.
Sudden death overtime. Brantford has first possession. Lachenko will skate it into the Sudbury zone. Lachenko off the boards. And Hovan back to work on him defensively. Wolves pick off the loose puck. Look out, nearly a giveaway inside the Sudbury zone. Gonchar back around the Sudbury net. He's held on to a little bit, but play will continue.
Brantford coming out hungry.
Brantford wants the extra point. They just fell in overtime last night against the North Bay Battalion in the Gateway City. They don't want it to happen again here in the Nickel City. Wolves looking to make it 3 straight wins. Puck back inside the Sudbury zone. Gonchar still out there. He's surrounded. And then Brantford finding the loose puck all alone in front of the net. As Paquette shot. Pad save. Another one. And another good pad save for Bjorn Bronis. And the Wolves will come right back. Not only one, but a second glorious save for Bronis as J.C. Lemieux is out there now for Sudbury. And that all happened after 2 Wolves players collided inside the Sudbury zone. Blonda out there for Sudbury. Not liking what he sees, so he cycles back into the Sudbury zone. Luca Blonda, little drop feed for Speedy Rowan Henderson. Henderson, speaking of Speedy, takes the puck into the Brantford zone. Right in behind the Brantford net. Blonda there to help out. And then look out, Brantford the other way. They come with a burst of speed, led by Paquette and Danford. Pass out in front to Danford, a shot. And then Blonda was hit in behind. Wolves back with a rush of their own. Henderson and Lemieux. Rowan Henderson, saucer pass to himself. As the Wolves maybe looking for a little change here, as yes, J.C. Lemieux is going to step off. Chase Coughlin, he's going to take a shift in overtime.
Yeah, they want to reset, but we've got less than 2 minutes to go here in the 5-minute session.
Ula on the puck for Sudbury. Provorov has just stepped out for the Wolves as well. Ula into the Brantford zone. Ula will wait. Not liking what he sees. Gents Ula looking for Provorov in the corner, and then Ula takes it right back to center ice as not a whole lot of space to work with, ironically, with it being 3-on-3. Provorov overskated the puck, have to be careful there. back inside the Sudbury zone. And that little mishap actually gave the Wolves a chance to change, and an icing call is coming now against the Sudbury Wolves. So face-off back inside the Wolves' end.
Yeah, that was a pass that should have connected, but it didn't, so it means the face-off is deep to Barones' right. 2:32 remaining in the 5-minute session. We got a timeout? Yes, we do have a timeout.
And that's a timeout by head coach Scott Barney of the Sudbury Wolves. Good decision, as your players are gassed out there, because they are unable to change with that being an icing call.
I like timeouts. I wish we had timeouts at work. We could just say, you know what, if we're doing something, you're in the middle, you're mid-sentence, and you're going to go, Josh, I want a timeout on Pure Country. I want to regroup here, get some strategy.
Well, you know me, I've got 4 kids at home, so timeouts are a regular part of our conversations at home.
Not your kids, they're angels.
That's true, that's true. All right, 2.5 left in overtime, if we need that amount of time. Face-off inside the Sudbury zone. Timeout is done. 3-on-3 hockey. Brantford wins the draw. Brantford, Juracek, as Rick was saying, a dangerous player back there for the Bulldogs. He gets it over to Lachenko. Lachenko, Philadelphia Flyers prospect, right back into the Brantford zone, and a giveaway nearly picked up by Clayton. Where is the puck? Almost a steal for Sudbury. Now Clayton over to Hovan. Hovan jumping into the Brantford zone. Hovan, burst of speed, wrister comes, glove save for Leenders. Leenders played it. The whistle was blown, and Leenders looks at the referee and says,
quick whistle. That's a quick whistle.
And he's actually arguing his case. That was a quick whistle.
Yeah. Normally, if the goalie holds on, and the thing is, if he has no intention of playing it, you're going to whistle it down, but the referee was thinking, oh, okay, I'm going to whistle it down.
All right, face-off inside the Brantford zone now. J.C. Lemieux with Nemitz up front, Gonchar on the blue line. Face-off won, again by Brantford. Wolves have the puck, though. Lemieux, nice forward pass to Gonchar. Cross ice to Lemieux, who now comes all the way back inside the Sudbury zone. Lemieux, burst of speed forward for Gonchar. Gonchar off the boards looking for Nemitz. Nemitz inside the Brantford zone. Adam Nemitz, he doesn't like what he sees, so he takes it back to center ice. Now skates it into the Brantford zone. We have an offside call made against Sudbury with 1:32 left in overtime, if we do indeed need that amount of time. Crazy game this has been, Rick Wyman. This has just been a great game.
I don't want a shootout, please. Let's decide it 3-on-3. But who am I to decide? Some people like shootouts.
Face-off just outside of the Brantford zone. Anderson to take the face-off for Sudbury. Out there with Lemieux and Blonda. Brantford wins the draw again. They've been real strong in the face-off dot here tonight. Juracek behind the Brantford net. He lets it go for Lachenko, who can really boogie with the puck. And this time he does, wiring it into the Sudbury zone. And that's going to be an icing call against Brantford. Coming back. This is the most icings I've seen in overtime, I think, ever. And so now the Wolves will have a chance with a face-off inside the Brantford zone. Hovan will stay out. Coughlin steps on for Sudbury. Nemitz on the blue line. Face-off is won again by Brantford. Brantford will lob it, but it's caught by Nemitz. Nemitz out in front, waits into the side of the net. Nemitz had a real close opportunity, forehand backhand style. And look out, the goaltender. Leenders stretch pass. Here comes Vanacker. Vanacker surrounded by Wolves skaters. Coughlin picking up the loose puck. Chase Coughlin into the Brantford zone. Chase Coughlin will wait, twisting and turning. Doesn't like what he sees, but he hands it off to Gonchar. Gonchar twisting, moving, out in front, shot comes! Rebound was there, Coughlin was sniffing, couldn't find the loose puck. 35 seconds left in overtime. Gonchar, another shot deflected high and wide. Coughlin to Gonchar, another shot, and that one's blocked. And look out, stretch pass, all alone, breakaway opportunity, shot, pass, save from beyond seconds left. Gonchar, what a move. Gonchar toe drag moved himself. He had Coughlin wide open in front. Wolves are still inside the Brantford zone. 10 seconds to go in overtime. Paquette, one more opportunity perhaps. Yes, he's got one. Shot comes, and he scores with 2 seconds left in overtime.
2.2 seconds. Wow. Paquette getting another one tonight. Ending this one, and the Wolves get 1 point, but Brantford getting their deuce after a 5-4 win in overtime. So again, Brantford finally gets off the schneid with an overtime win, Coop.
Wow. What an overtime.
Great. Coop, is there anything better than 3-on-3 back and forth like that?
No, that was some fantastic action. What an overtime period. We got basically an entire 5 minutes of overtime hockey.
I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it.
It is a stinger way, though.
And kudos to the Wolves. They hung in there. They came back to tie it. And you know what? We got the shootout. That's all that matters. Could have gone either way.
And right now, Jan Hovan and Drevetsky of the Brantford Bulldogs having a friendly conversation, and I actually mean that. I believe they are fellow countrymen, if I recall, as they are having a nice chat at the Wolves blue line. What a crazy game this was at the Sudbury Community Arena. Wolves do fall. We'll get to our 3-star selection here momentarily, as Luca Blonda stays out there as well. He knew one of the players from Brantford. Crazy one. Wolves pick up a point. So back in the first period, it was Jan Hovan, a power play goal, his 12th of the season. And then Vanacker responded for Brantford. Second period, a grand total of 3 goals. We saw Lemieux, Nemec score in that crazy second frame. Vanacker scored his second. And then we jumped into the third period where Paquette scored. Lemieux scored as well. And we went to overtime, and then with 2.2 seconds remaining in OT, Paquette on a breakaway, as they are just announcing the 3-star selection right now.
Was that Paquette? I believe it's Paquette, right?
Charlie Paquette, the Dallas Stars prospect, the overtime winner, picks up 3rd star this evening. But honestly, on a game on a Friday night, I mean, this game had everything, Rick.
It did, and the thing is, the tempo, little bit of chippiness. You know, we had some penalties, we had some punches thrown, so really it was a culmination of everything that led to some pretty good entertainment. So no complaints about the effort on behalf of the Wolves, Coop. They showed that they can compete.
Absolutely.
And that's important, and that's going to prove precious down this stretch run with 2 months to go, and the carryover in the next season as well.
J.C. Lemieux picked up 2nd star tonight for the Sudbury Wolves, and it's Marek Vanacker, 2 goals on the night.
Good game.
And he picks up 1st star. So great star selections this evening. So now the Wolves rest up a little bit, and tomorrow they hit the road for Quebecois, of all places, Rick.
Quebec and Rouen, of course, the Wolves want to atone for that loss. Or at least the Huskies want to atone for the loss that they sustained here last Sunday. So again, interesting to see that. Hopefully we'll have some television coverage somewhere. Flow Hockey, we're hoping. It's 2020. It's 2026. It's not really.
It'll be somewhere.
It'll be somewhere. I don't care if someone has to post, the game footage with their iPhone somewhere and have it transmitted. But we'll get it.
Next home game Friday, February the 6th, as the Windsor Spitfires will be back in town, which means the return of Nate Villeneuve and Alex Ferron. That'll be interesting. That's in February, too. So you want to mark.
Of course, the team will acknowledge them for their efforts.
Absolutely, they will. So you want to circle that one on your calendar as well. Again, Wolves fall tonight in overtime by a final score of 5-4 against the #1 team in the Eastern Conference, Brantford Bulldogs. They end their overtime loss losing streak as, well, their point streak continues, and they pick up the W tonight. Wolves pick up a big point against Brantford. And again, the Wolves hit the road heading for Quebec. Dave will have the call on Sunday late afternoon. On behalf of Rick Wyman and all the crew at the Sudbury Community Arena, I'm Brian Cooper, and we are going to throw things up to the boys at the Behind the Bench podcast to take you through into the rest of your Friday night. Thanks for watching Wolves Hockey.
Of a game.
Yes.
Obviously not ending in the Wolves' favor, but a great overtime nonetheless, and a great showing from the Sudbury Wolves, I think. But we're here with a special guest. We got Cody from the SPAD Hockey Tournament. We talked about you. We talked to you about the SPAD Hockey Tournament, and we told you we're going to bring on some special guests from the SPAD Hockey Tournament. So, Cody, introduce yourself and maybe tell us about the game. What was your thoughts?
About the Wolves game? Yeah, so I'm Cody. I'm in my third year of SPAD. I'm currently running the SPAD Hockey Tournament this year.
Hell yeah.
The Wolves game was great today. The boys fought hard. They battled hard right to the very end. Literally 2.2 seconds up on the clock. You can't cut it much closer than that.
Yeah.
They battled hard. It didn't go our way. This is one of the best teams in the OHL, so I'm very proud of the boys today, how they fought, and I think there's a lot of positive signs as we close out the season here.
Definitely. Tom, your thoughts on the game?
It was very entertaining. For a Friday night, what else more do you ask for? I know it was SPAD night. A lot of people were here in attendance. SPAD tournament, like you mentioned. I haven't seen this arena this packed in a long time, it felt like. So a good crowd for a Friday night with the best team in the East in town, and the Wolves did their best. It would have been nice to get 2 points, but hey, you got one out of the best team, and I thought it was a very entertaining game, and I love the heart and hustle from the Wolves.
Yeah, there's a lot of positives to come out of this game, right? I think, like you mentioned, the effort's there, right?
For sure.
You go toe-to-toe with some of the best teams in the league. You beat Flint last week. You beat Rouyn-Noranda, who's second in the queue right now in their respective conference. And I mean, to go and get a point against Brantford, I think getting a point regardless is great, and hopefully they can carry some momentum there into Rouyn. That's going to be a hell of a road trip on Sunday afternoon. But we're here to talk about SPAD hockey, ladies and gentlemen. So if you don't know, SPAD Hockey Tournament has been running for 49 years now. Big 50th coming up next year. We've obviously played in it. We've won it. It's been a blast of a tournament, and Cody's here to share some words on it. So I guess maybe take us through, Cody, the history of the tournament, and maybe you guys setting it up this year. What was the process like?
It's a lot to live up to, for sure. Number 49 in such a historic tradition. From when you walk in first year, all the upper year SPADs tell you, oh, you're putting in a team for the hockey tournament?
Yeah.
Do you want to help out with the hockey tournament?
Yeah.
From the get-go, it's a big event. We love it. It's a great opportunity to learn, even if you're just volunteering. It's been amazing, and this year we're just trying to live up to the expectations, man. It's been a lot of different formats, a lot of different teams have come and won. So we're just trying to make sure we pay our respects in a sense.
I love it.
You guys are doing a fantastic job.
What was registration like? How many teams registered this year for the tournament?
We had 15 this year.
There you go. That's awesome.
We had 15 this year. It was great. And it's been great. A lot of high caliber hockey. It seems every year the quality of hockey improves and just keeps getting better and better, and it's been amazing. It's been an amazing opportunity to get competitive hockey just in the middle of the season and keep some of these senior players warm.
I love it. I love it. One other question I had for you is, how's the collaboration been with amongst the rest of the students you're doing it with? Obviously, you walk into the rink, it's very well organized. I'm sure everyone's got a job, so how has it been, collaborating with everybody that you're on the staff with?
I couldn't ask for a better team.
That's awesome.
Honestly, from the moment we started, from the moment we had this organization set up, couldn't ask for a better team. We've put our heart and soul into this operation this year with sponsorship, just making sure all the operations go smoothly, and even now on game day, the volunteer team we have this year of first and second years is absolutely amazing.
That's awesome.
We have some absolute standouts. 50-50 pod as well. We've introduced that this year with our volunteers, and they are absolutely killing it. The pod right now is over $350, and it just keeps growing. We're only halfway through the tournament now.
I chipped in now. I don't know if you did.
Yeah, well, I will be.
Take it out of the pot-a-thon.
That's right. Yeah. We'll dip into the budget there. That's great. And also the unique thing too, this is worth actual credits for you guys, right? You actually get to take this as a class?
Yeah, so it's a great opportunity as a class. It's a 3-credit class for event operations and management.
Cool.
And it's just a great opportunity. It's someone who ran the golf tournament, because you can also get credits for that as well.
Unreal.
Yeah. They're now currently in Vaughan with the CHL for an internship in event operations and management.
Cool, very cool.
It's a great opportunity for all students, whether you're volunteering or running the event. I absolutely would recommend it to everybody. And I think as the years go on and the class sizes increase for SPAD, I think it's going to become really, really competitive.
There we go. I love it. Well, no pressure here, but who do you like coming down the stretch here down Sunday afternoon?
You guys scared me a little bit today with an underdog matchup.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah.
it was too tight for our liking as well.
But Captain Chimino here, averaging a goal a game. So
It's true.
I have to mention BTB. Absolutely, you guys coming into it, we're heavy favorites. Another team I'm going to give a shout out to is the Sudbury 69ers.
Yeah.
They are definitely a team that I think are going to push for it.
Yeah.
100%. But I would say my number 2 right now are the Cutters.
Okay.
The Cutters, they have come out. They've had some easier games to start, but they have come out no quit to the final whistle. Doesn't matter if they're up 10-0. Doesn't matter if it's opening puck drop.
Okay.
They are full tilt, full go, and I think it's going to be very exciting. And I think there's a chance you might face them in the finals. And
Oh, maybe.
if that's the finals matchup, I recommend everybody in Sudbury to come to Carmichael Arena.
Yeah, there you go.
I love it.
Before we let you go, I just wanted to see if you have any, planning for the 50th. I know maybe you're not going to be really involved, but any kind of insight you can let us know about what's going to happen for the big 50th next year?
Oh, it's going to be a big one.
Yeah.
We're going to make sure our report at the end of this tournament is as detailed and thorough as possible.
Love it.
So we can make sure that everyone is as prepared as possible.
Okay.
Love it.
And truly, I think it's going to be a great one. I might come back.
Okay, there you go.
I think I found my home as the tournament MC.
Here we go.
That's what I did last year, and I've been doing it this year a bit too. So, if the boys need some help, I'll always come back and give back to the program that's given me so much.
There you go.
But no, for sure,
Spats
keep your eyes
family.
out next year.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big one.
Awesome.
Love it. Okay, folks. Well, listen, that's going to do it here from the BTB live stage. A reminder, HSN 50-50 here from the SPAD Hockey Tournament. Pots up to $350, and we can bump that up big time too. Going to a great cause as well. So, Cody, thanks so much for coming on here with the boys. That's going to do it here from the BTB live stage. 5-4 the final in overtime from the Brantford Bulldogs. We'll see you next week. Ciao.